good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sultans of Shadilay podcast. As always, I am joined by our professional artist, Trim, and tonight we have some special friend guests due to the latest Eaters Gold Zoom call. We have Anglo Jones.
Hello.
Harry, the martial arts nerd.
Hello. I'm going to destroy all of you. No, I'm new. I'm new to this. Hi, guys.
And, of course, Solomon, who has been a friend for a while.
Good evening, folks.
So, let's get right into it, shall we? So, this...
Right into the news.
Yes, so tonight, the latest Eaters haven't done my work for me, so I had to go do horrible stuff like Google articles. So, let's see. US ranking last among 46 countries in trust in media. And this surprises who exactly?
That would be my normie family and also my normie girlfriend and, yeah, normies.
Fucking
Yeah,
normies. They ruin normies.
Actually, wait, no. Actually, some normies might not be surprised. Some.
Actually pity them. I pity the normie. I don't hate the normie. I don't despise the normie. Or I do not even feel wrath against the normie. I just pity them.
The trust in media in Brazil is higher than America.
What? What?
I mean,
Yeah.
where is Serbia on this list? We all know Serbia's due a couple of prizes for Nobel Peace.
Well, let's have a look at the article. So
I mean,
let's
for
see.
fortification's sake, I mean, you can easily see why people don't trust the press that much.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, let's have a look. Eastern Europe, Romania, 42%.
Ooh. Hey.
I'm curious. How does it show the percentage of like South Africa on this?
Let's see if I can get a better version of the image.
It says 52%.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, 52% for South Africa. Like, there are some legitimate third world countries here that have recently broken loose of dictatorships that have better trust in the media than the United States.
So this metric is direct trust or distrust?
Proportion that trusts most news most of the time in all markets.
Wow.
My God.
So the UK is 36%. So Mr. Tucker is off by quite a significant margin unless he's got the numbers reversed, which is possible.
What percentage did you just say?
Mr. Tucker said, let's see,
I-
71%, so he's probably got it.
Oh,
I'm surprised in the UK we don't just outright distrust everything because of Jimmy Savile, because that was one thing alone enough that should have destroyed the BBC, but it didn't.
the thing that I hate the most about Jimmy Savile as well is like I forget how long ago this was. There was a BBC reporter who was like trying to essentially say, "You're Mr. Bad Person, aren't you, Mr. Evil Person?" And then essentially they were trying to like hold all the moral high ground while harassing this person. And someone might remember this better than me. And so essentially it says like, why the actual fuck would someone listen to your opinion? You've in the past admitted that Jimmy Savile was an open secret in the BBC, and you're trying to say that you have the moral high ground. Here's anything to save yourself. And they just said, like the goldfish, their mouth opening and closing, and they just fucking walked off. It's like, yeah, fuck you.
Well, to be fair, the goldfish just looks more intelligent.
Based. I think. Wait, actually, as well, to make it more funny, I think the person who just had a goldfish face was a woman.
Is she called by a brighter leg, possibly?
I can't remember all the details. It's a while ago, but I just remember it's a case of F the BBC, PTFO, fuck you.
I don't think they're talking about Lightfoot, who legitimately looks like an inbred fucking goldfish.
She does.
Yeah.
An inbred goldfish that has been put on the oven a bit too long.
Yeah.
No, I have exposure back in 2003. She's an interdimensional vampire.
Yeah.
Interdimensional vampire exposed to silver.
Yeah. So what I find really interesting about what we're looking at here with the media trust, We've got Latin America. Brazil, 54%. Colombia, 40%. Mexico, 37%.
What about Scandinavia?
We'll have a look. Argentina, that was the one that's really interesting. Argentina was a military junta in the fucking 90s. Like, hello?
They swapped out so many dictators as well.
Like, they just went from dictator to dictator.
Every other week.
Yeah, it seemed like it. I mean, a friend of mine studies history and he specialized in Argentina. He's like, yeah, it's one of those countries where they changed dictator as much as they changed toilet paper.
Anglo Jones, student of history, says you have a 10 out of 10 Alex Jones impression.
Oh, well, thank you very much, my brother.
Wait, you're saying you're not Alex Jones?
I am Alex Jones.
He's
Good.
Alex Jones's, like, English half-brother.
I'm his retarded brother from England.
T, yes.
Uncle T with me now.
Of course, you prick.
So, Trim. Norway, 57%.
Huh. That's around what I expected.
What I do find interesting is Australia, 43%, which is like 60% lower than I thought it was. Because the last couple of months have shown me that there is nothing the average Australian likes more than sucking the dick of the ABC.
Fuck.
Except for you, of course, I suppose.
Yeah, there's like 4 Australians that think it's stupid.
How is the sample calculated?
Excellent
Like, no-
question.
They
There's a
guessed.
special breed of people that enjoy filling out question forms and polls, and you usually get a very skewed answer
Yeah.
because they're all the Facebook moms that are politically involved.
It's also
With
the
that as
people...
well, with that as well, if no one minds me saying, it's a case of I just probably I think the numbers are probably faked because it's always 71% in Britain in particular.
Mm.
Hmm.
Do you remember
Yes.
with the YouGov poll stuff as well? Like, it's very biased samples that aren't ecologically valid at all.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it was done by Nielsen, who, let's be honest, the only people who do Nielsen polls are the ones who don't have hobbies or jobs. Like, it's one thing to not have a job, but when you're the kind of person who doesn't even have a hobby, that's when you're the person who does a Nielsen poll.
Christ.
Imagine
kind of guy
not
would have
having
a
a
hobby?
fucking hobby though.
True.
I mean, that is
Well-
low. Everybody
well-
has a fucking hobby.
Well, that's why what I think is why so many people and are in the cult of the coof is because they didn't have a hobby.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
like
I was held back.
it's legitimately the new religion.
If
I mean,
if you, it's a
seeing-
case of I hate people because there are some people. It's a case of I'm an atheist, therefore I'm immune to being dogmatic. No, what you're saying is you think you're immune, therefore you're not going to put defenses against it happening. So then, because you're not trying to close the gates to the city, when the invasion finally comes, how are you going to actually stop the invasion? Oh
Yeah.
wait, You're not.
I do think a lot of the midwit atheists are very much the living example of if you open your mind too much, your brain will fall out.
Yes. The thing as well with, say, the coronavirus shutting down a lot of people's hobbies, like, people like me or Harry were actually affected by this, so we were held back. But people that don't have hobbies, they don't have to give a shit about anything about this.
Well, that's
it's a
it.
case of
If you don't-
all of my experience in martial arts has just been, I'm pretty sure I'm set back to being a fucking white belt at this point, and that is shameful. And I have lost a lot of fucking fitness. This is disgusting. But somebody who their hobby is just try to be authoritarian and be a dick, they're not affected by this. And why are they more valid than me?
Exactly.
So, sir, what is your hobby? I'm being an authoritarian dick. Ah, wonderful. You're hired.
Well, that's where we end up.
Unironically.
You're hitting on
Welcome to the banking clans.
You're hitting
Welcome
on the
to Activision Blizzard.
I think Harry's hitting onto the onto the start of the exact, like, if you describe the average member of the Branch Covidians, it would be someone from Generation Y who works an office job that they can do from home, who has no partner, no children, one or more cats, and has no hobbies that require being outside.
I know
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons is a hobby of mine, but I think I balance it out with the rest of the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Attack on Titan, right? Sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help
My war.
it.
Look,
That's a good song, actually.
I think we should build a wall around around California and make them pay for it.
Yes.
I vote
We're
for that.
going to make the Attack on Titan timeline canon, and I will destroy California. How's that sound?
Okay.
Acceptable.
Hey, as long as I get to have the Monkey Titan, I'll be alright.
It's the worst one. It only is useful because Zeke has royal blood. You fool!
It's a monkey that
Ooh, ah.
turn other Titans to Titans. I'm pretty sure
That's 'cause
that's
he's got
a pretty
royal
good one.
blood!
Of course he sucks. Fuck me then. I want to be a monkey. Okay, Jesus.
Return
Like
to
every
monkey.
good ability you're mentioning is Zeke's royal blood. Are you a royal blood? No.
I'm a Norwegian. I have royal blood. Pretty much everyone because the fucking Vikings hoard around so much.
Back to subject.
Sorry,
Sorry.
that was partly my fault.
That was fun though.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't really say how they sampled it. So let's see if we can actually look at the report itself from Reuters. Oh, why do you assholes... What cunt has auto-playing audio? All you guys are lucky I've got that audio channel muted out to you guys in the stream. But what kind of cunt has auto-playing audio on a fucking website in these days? Oh, here we go. Fuck you, you bastards. That...
I'm telling you, these people are awful human beings.
They're looking for some MySpace nostalgia. This is my page. This is my song. We all get to listen to it.
I mean,
Okay, here we go. The
I'm
methodology.
old, but I'm not that old.
Okay, samplers were assembled using nationally representative quotas for age, gender, and region in every market and education in all markets except, like, a bunch of them. In the US, UK, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Italy, we've applied additional political quotas based on vote choice in the most recent national election. Well, that's outstanding. You've applied different criteria to different groups, and you're using that to draw inferences. Well done.
Yep.
Wow. That's some hell of manipulating data.
Well, they put the political bias on the ones that are swinging right-hand side. You look at that
Yeah.
list.
Lefties.
Turkey, Thailand.
I mean, lefties are
South
pretty
Africa,
good at
Romania. It's all
changing news.
conservative right now.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Blah, 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 online. So it's an online survey, so it's got all the typical problems online surveys have. You have to actively go out and look for them. So, astoundingly
Worse,
unhelpful.
I guess.
It's a big issue because, like, whenever Carl asks us to go and sign a petition, he forgets the part where like 80% of his audience cannot even participate where you are geo-locked. You cannot enter into a petition being an American or a Dutch or a French citizen, even though
Or
you want to
Norwegian.
help your YouTuber out.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be tantamount to fraud.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's have a look at some of the issues. So, they've gone with close to 2,000 people per country. Except the problem shows up immediately in the first line. The UK has 70 million people, and Austria has 9 million. So the sample sizes are not representative of the population of the country.
Yeah.
Is that really a surprise?
No. But it
You
just
expect
goes...
these people to be honest?
No,
No?
I just expect them to be a little bit better at hiding their obvious manipulation of the data.
Granted.
We're talking about the kind of people that weeks after having, shall we say, enhanced an election, go out and be like, I want credit for this! Gimme!
They're basically
Idiots.
selling their vote the same way they fortified the American election. You're selling a vote. I think back then it was $5
Yeah, a lot
for
of
every fake
fortifications.
ballot.
Are we allowed to say that?
These polls are used to sway public opinion by
In
providing
Minecraft,
an output on a graph that's easy to digest for a normie, and give them a number. I'm thinking, oh, we're actually believing in the media. Well, I must believe in the media then. This is
Media.
just
oh, come on.
politically
the
minded
media.
That's
people.
stupid.
Politically minded people catering to an organization that's making headway at attacking the normies and changing their opinion because they're ill-informed.
Yeah,
That makes too much sense, and it kind of makes me sad.
yeah. We're not allowed to have sense, remember?
True.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I keep forgetting that. Man, me and my spoiled Norwegian heritage.
Remember, the party demands that you just shut up and listen.
Can't have people, question things. They might come to the wrong conclusion, after all.
Yes, we don't want people to look for facts. They might come to the politically incorrect answer.
Which is,
thing is-
of course, the correct answer.
The
Well-
term politically incorrect is, I'm going to say, it's retarded.
Yeah.
Because think about it, it's a case of, well, you are correct, but you're not politically correct. So I'm right then, and your politics is wrong, and you're actively just ruining things by sticking to them like a retarded, autistic shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just the
I mean, there's a reason why I
sheer
hate it.
definition of words. Oh, it's politically correct. Okay, so you're saying that it's not actually correct.
Exactly, that's...
Like,
I mean, can
as
I
much
just add something?
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
just want to add something. We keep referring to some fictional timeline that we're heading to. I'm just gonna say it. We're actually pretty goddamn close to the World War C timeline here.
Yes!
Because the media writes everything. They talk shit about everything. I
Point,
listened
actually.
to the audiobook yesterday, and I'm like, holy shit, this is too close to home.
I didn't think of that, actually.
It's
Rebels
scary.
have- the book is actually really good. The film is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, the film doesn't exist.
It wasn't even
It doesn't
related.
exist. Not in my presence.
Hmm.
It was a terrible atrocity.
As far as I'm concerned, it's based in an entirely different timeline with different characters and,
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't exist.
Just like the latest series of Doctor Who.
Oh, we
Yeah,
don't talk about shitty fanfiction.
the latest series of Doctor Who. You mean the weird one that had the old
Tumblr
dude and
rewrite.
the black lesbian? No, there was no
It
Tumblr.
exists.
The last
I will die
Doctor
on
was
this
Peter
hill.
Capaldi, right? Peter Capaldi was the last Doctor.
Sadly, no. Well,
oh god, what are the...
Nah.
What is the
Barely.
most fucking
it's actually going to die
retarded
off.
Doctor Who thing? Give me a second. I'm gonna look it up, and because I can't remember what it was, but it just eats stuff. It just eats, and it's immune to all damage. You can never hurt it, no matter what you do ever at all, and it's completely indestructible. And it's a case of, wow, it's so compelling as a plot. What do? We shove a grenade in its mouth, and then we just throw it out the airlock.
Oh, I remember that.
Why
Solution.
did you take so long to do this? Just do it without...
I remember, apparently, so Doctor Who actually is going to get cancelled finally because of how bad the last
Oh.
series did. It's going to have 3 more
God.
specials and they're going to end it.
No,
you
here's the solution.
bastards.
You just remove the woman from Doctor
Yeah.
Who, and then you go back to good writing.
Well, not just that,
Yeah.
like Chris Chibnall as well, because the thing is, he got there because of nepotism. Like, it was because he knew a guy who knew a guy that he got into the BBC writing.
Yeah.
Righties.
What?
Okay, let me just put it like this. If they cancel it, that's gonna be a good thing because sooner or later in the future, we'll get some people doing like a slight remix, stopping, cutting away the part that is complete cancer, and just keeping the story going from the good part.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I'm
one of the
hoping.
things that annoyed me
I
so
found
much
it. It's
about
it's
the
an
last
awful,
Doctor
awful creation.
Capaldi, one of the things that
I
annoyed me
found what it's called.
yeah. So one of the things that annoyed
yeah.
me. Sorry, I'll just touch on this point. The thing that annoyed me the most about Peter Capaldi's era is everyone I know can name a bunch of previous. Sorry. Excuse me. So, can name a bunch of companions. Donna. All the crap. I was going to sound so cool if I could remember their names, but you've got Donna, you've got Amy Pond, you've got Rory Williams. What was the name of
Rose?
Capaldi's Yep, you've got Rose Tyler.
These companions belong back in the kitchen.
Sure, but what was the name of Capaldi's companion? No
Tara
one
and
knows.
What was the other one? Bill or something?
Was
I
it
can remember
W
because I was a
something?
retard.
Yeah, well, when your entire personality is black female lesbian.
Gay.
Yeah, I'm a gay black woman.
I'm a
That's
guys,
even
you forgot.
worse than woman.
It's scum.
Right,
Get
okay.
in the wheelchair, hun.
Even fucking Clara in her first iteration had more of a personality than that one.
She was a blank slate.
Also,
Like,
for
yeah,
context,
it was
if a certain friend of mine is watching this and recognizes my voice, listen, I'm half memeing, but there is a difference between someone who is black and an N-word. Okay, so if a certain friend of mine is watching this, hopefully this will make sense to you now. I'm referring to the N-words, not people who are black. There's like a key difference.
Yes, crap. What's his name? If only I could remember. One of the black comedians does a really good segment on black people versus N-words. And he nails it in one.
Uncle Ruckus.
Dave Chappelle?
Uncle
Was it-
Ruckus from Boondocks.
No, I don't think it was Chappelle. It's from like the 90s, I think. It might be
I
Chris
know about it.
Chris
I
Rock?
just don't remember the name either.
It was
It's
somebody.
a good one.
Yeah, Chris Rock. The guys in chat are saying Chris Rock. But yeah, like he starts off going, "Who's more racist, black people or white people? Black people, because they hate black people too."
I would say the Chinese are somehow worse.
I was just about to say it.
Yeah,
mean,
the Chinese are
actually
really
the racist
racist.
people of
They,
all.
yeah. Have you seen
I mean,
the
I'm just going to
Weibo
say it right
old
now.
Floyd
There was
stuff?
this live leak thing where someone had taken a camera into a museum, and this museum
Yes!
had like photos of different animals and a black face at the side of it to essentially say, "Well, see, they're all animals. Can't you see these photos here? That's proof
Yeah.
that." And it's a case of Jesus,
Holy
really?
Did you see
Really?
with
mean-
Weibo? There was like when the George Floyd stuff
what's
happened, they made
next?
Derek Chauvin a superhero.
What?
No.
Jesus.
Oh, you're kidding.
What?
Captain Fentanyl.
Oh God, no.
The power of the knee to the neck.
Those
No, he has
goddamn
the
yellow
power of-
communists.
The power of poison resist. No mere mortal amount of drugs could down the superhero.
Except for a knee to the neck.
Yeah, that's his kryptonite. Oh no, knee to my neck. I cannot breathe. I'm just gonna stop there.
Oh.
Superhero in every aspect, invincible. Fentanyl dies.
See, the thing is that's generally what the SJWs have believed, unironically. Anyone would die from what's happening right now. Anyone in the entire universe. But not
Barry,
this
I
man.
found you, but Chinese. Look at memes.
Wait.
This is basically your ideology.
Yeah.
This is the correct way to treat women.
Is there a funny image up? I can't see the
Oh, memes.
video stream because if I do, my internet craps out on me.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
For context, it's like this video where this guy just more or less kicks
Both
the door
internet
down to his
people.
home, sees his woman playing on like the computer, He smashes the computer just because she shouldn't be playing. She's wasting her time, and then slaps the headset off of her head, and essentially just leaves a bowl in the kitchen for her to eat out of. It's like, I endorse this message.
So, the good
Oh.
news, the wench is being thrown out of Doctor Who.
Simple.
Oh,
Yes.
And so is Chin Balls. Good riddance to bad
Good.
fucking trash there.
Good.
Chin
Chin
balls.
balls.
They talk about that guy who looks like. I mean, there's this guy who looks like an artificial human being.
Have you
Yeah,
seen like
possibly.
how fat his chin is? It's insane.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of dropped Doctor Who halfway through Capaldi's run.
We have standards. We don't watch Doctor Who.
No, we do.
I watch
Okay.
Doctor Who. I
Hang
don't
on.
watch crappy fanfiction.
I know the Guardian likes to get into some really trashy tabloid bullshit, but if this fucking faggot
What?
becomes
No!
the Doctor, we're gonna have a
That's
fucking
it, I'm dead.
problem.
Yeah, they
What?
didn't learn anything at all.
For God's sake, what? No, I don't trust. I don't trust the BBC, and with all that "we're coming for your children" nonsense
Oh,
from San
God.
Francisco, from the Gay Men's Choir thing.
I
don't-
for your children.
We don't need you to sing as well. You're close enough to second. Yes, you are.
We're essentially it's just a
Please
case of
return.
I don't want a nonce Doctor Who. I'm sorry, I just don't fucking trust it.
Oh God.
No, but look at him
Oh.
and everything
Hey,
that's happened
Anglo,
with
can
those.
you send me
Children
the
in the
image?
TARDIS.
I really want to know who you're talking about.
What?
But I'm kind of scared as well.
What thing?
Because essentially, like someone
the
said,
thing
"Oh, he
you're
looks
talking
gay."
about.
What?
So it's like, well, he probably is a nonce then at this point.
Well,
I don't know what you mean.
looks more like a nonce than a gay man. Because
He's
remember,
commenting on your children. What?
just like there's
Oh,
black
that's
people and
true.
N words, there's gay people and F words, and
And
this
bads.
guy's an F word.
Yes.
Oh.
We use the P word for them, actually.
The pedophile word.
I was going to say puffed up, but...
We should probably steer away from the slurs for the guys and the slurs
Oh, yeah, yeah.
for the blacks.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But
All I'm
pedophiles
saying
can
is-
go fuck themselves.
All I'm saying is they're coming for the kids. I'm coming for them with the wood chipper. Okay. Thy hatred be my sword. Thy ignorance and bigotry be my shield. Thy wood chipper be thy sword. Also, we need
I
to put them
approve.
in feet first and very slowly, and we need to do the Dark Eldar thing where they have chemicals going through their body that make them feel more pain. And I want the fucking thing on the
Yes.
slowest possible setting, and I'm gonna start eating popcorn as I look in their eyes as they beg.
So that's the whole murder hobo thing.
We're going to have to invent a new low-speed wood chipper.
It's just for
New
this.
gearing.
I think I know a guy.
Well,
Good.
we do know a guy who could do it.
Exactly. Okay. Enough of that. Enough of the pedophiles running
Aw.
Doctor Who.
It wouldn't
I
surprise
was,
me.
I was referring to pedophiles in wood chippers. That's a nice thing.
Yeah,
A very
but I
nice
don't like thinking about pedophiles, even when it comes to wood chippering them.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
I like
Let's-
thinking about them screaming and begging for my mercy, only to rip out their tongue.
What, you'll
Ooh.
have them run before you and hear the lamentations of their women?
They don't have any women.
No.
Children, remember?
Yes. Let's talk
I
about
don't think it would be
something
lamentations either. I think it would just be a sigh of relief.
Yeah. Let's talk about something slightly less depressing. Critical race theory.
Sure.
Yay!
Ah.
No!
Oh, you said
Oh,
less!
quiet. I feel so much better already.
Day saved.
Task failed successfully.
Wonderful.
Why is the
10
country
points to fuck
panicking
off.
over something that doesn't exist? But if it existed, it should be good, right?
Yes.
It doesn't exist. Okay, so let's ban it. You can't do that. Jesus Christ, people. Come up with better arguments.
Why
Yeah,
can't
the
you just
dishonesty
fucking
is unreal.
decide? Why can't you just fucking
They're
decide?
left wing and they're retarded. They can't come up with better arguments.
They've come up with the ultimate position that they're basically the absolute polar opposite of the Holocaust deniers, where they're like, yeah, the Holocaust never happened, but if it did happen, this is exactly how we would have done it. And they deserved it. It's always
Yeah.
like the deserved it comes at the end. It's like,
Yeah.
it didn't happen, but it totally should have. And the left has reached this position, finally. CRT doesn't
also have the
exist,
pe-
but it should.
You also have the people who insisted that Hitler said a glass of juice.
Yeah. Well, as we'll get to later, the left and essentially the normies have reached the position where the Holocaust didn't happen, but that fiction book about that Hitler guy has some really good ideas on what we can do to the unvaccinated.
I found Mein Kampf
Yeah.
yesterday in a bookstore.
Oh, nice. Good to
Look,
know
I'm
they're
just not
still
going to
selling
take
their
a vaccine
favors.
that's not been tested yet. I'm just not doing it. Sue me.
Fuck that. I ain't doing it.
It'll be easy to resist right now. It'll be difficult to resist half a year from now.
Yeah.
Student
luck.
of History says, I'm noticing there is a library tab in Discord. Do people just post their books? Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's also for like recommended reading and whatnot.
Mm.
I recommend Dresden Files. It's a really good urban fantasy series.
I'm gonna begin that
There
soon.
is no SJW bullshit in it, and such great characters.
Mm.
Sorry, I just had to fanboy, but seriously, I'm on my fifth fucking.
Alexander, that is amazing.
I'm on a fifth fucking bent already. What the fuck do you call it? Listen to it in a stride. Words escape me.
DeSantis will never run for president. He's just one of those rare gems where they're that dedicated. He's going to get very spooked when he gets into the Senate and all the higher end stuff. And it's like that old Star Trek saying about Klingons where Kalish has his wise words that a leader does not wish to have power, but he has it thrusted upon him in times of need. You get the right
Among
person
other
to do the
things.
right job. I see Nigel Farage as that example. He helped them through Brexit, and then he basically left the political scene. As you would. No
It's like
career
if-
politicians, you solve an issue, and then you leave.
Like, well, if you've solved the issue and there's no more issue, why would you need to stay?
Well, that's
I
where
mean,
you invent
should have left
intersectional
something
feminism,
ticking
and
there.
then you keep it running once you've got equal rights, the right to vote, equal pay. Well,
And this is why Kitchen. They belong in it, and they shouldn't have had the rights in the first place.
Keep them the fuck away from my kitchen. I ain't trusting anyone.
They'll burn the food.
No.
if it wasn't for takeaways, a married man would starve.
You see, this is why when I become the universe dictator of the second British Empire, it's a case of brothels just are essentially restaurants where they just give you free food. Essentially, there's
Interesting.
no sex because that's simping. You don't pay for sex. Fucking
for food.
simps, but you can get food.
No, you're getting it wrong. You don't pay prostitutes for sex, you pay them to fuck off afterwards.
That's
Fair.
even better.
So you're
Yeah.
going to turn prostitution into a highway restaurant chain.
Yes,
To be honest, it would be pretty high class.
you
I
could
mean-
make it high class if you really put it into.
A really good way to make money. to be
I
honest.
mean, isn't Hooters basically that, if you've got enough
Yeah,
money?
the food's terrible.
Didn't we have an entire movie about franchise wars?
Demolition Man.
I'd like that movie actually. I'm not gonna lie, because it's just a case of I want to know the build-up as to why someone fought and died over McDonald's versus KFC. Because
And
you
how
know that
Taco
happened.
Bell won.
I know.
Wait.
But
Is
the other
the South Park
franchises did
episode
lose,
real?
but somebody actually did try
No,
to
it's not
fight for
South
these
Park.
things.
Is that
Demolition
South
Man.
Park episode real?
It's Demolition Man, my dude.
Yes.
Um,
If
Oh
you're not
god, I just read
familiar-
one in the comments. Student of history. So it's like buying the Uber after the one night stand. Right? Do you want me? Do you want me then to be the Emperor of the Universe, British Empire 2.0? Does this sound like a good idea, chat?
I mean,
The world I would create for you.
I mean,
can I
there
become
have
the
been
ruling
worse
lord of
ideas.
Scandinavia? I will
Yeah, go
oppress
ahead.
the Swedes. Thank you. Prepare thine aid.
And I will turn Australia into a proper prison colony.
And it should be.
Try to use it as try to follow the Norwegian standards to at least have a good life. You know, the people there.
Listen,
And
we just have to use radiation and make
No,
it so
wait,
nothing
wait,
can
wait.
grow on Australia. And just drop people off there and just say, right, we didn't
Okay,
actually
okay.
kill them, but there's no way for them to get off.
Careful, Harry. Careful, Harry. We're talking about Australia, the country where God just said, "Fuck it, you're
yeah,
on
do
your
you
own."
want to nuke those fucking spiders? I don't think so.
yeah, that's a bad idea.
Spider-Man will become real there, and we're not talking about the web-slinging guy. We're talking about that monster mutation.
I'm telling you, they've already done this in labs in China. I've exposed this all back in 2002.
Alex Jones is a prophet.
I know. Animal-human hybrids. Who thought of it?
Thing is, though, is it's a case of it's why I keep on saying to people, just talk to people in good faith, and suddenly it's a case of they actually say really smart things half the time, but people don't want to talk in good faith, and it's a case of Alex Jones, I've got a contact, yeah, but anyone could say that, yeah, but it's a case of when you've got the benefit of hindsight and everything he said has slowly but surely come true, it's who the fuck are his contacts? Contacts? Because he's got
They're always
contacts from
right,
somewhere. Yeah, he is right every fucking time.
It's why I actually
also
believe that
hilarious.
his contacts are genuine, because he can't keep getting this much stuff correct with them being not real.
Yeah, it's just not mathematically possible. Like, I can see a couple times where you just stumble ass backwards down the stairs doing an accidental triple ultimate super backflip and like pirouette in the air, and you just land like the gymnastic people in the Olympics on your fucking bollocks in the split, and you say, how's that? Do I get a 1 out of 10 at least? It's like, no, you're probably going to get a 10 out of 10 because that's fucking brilliant and amazing. You can stumble ass backwards into it maybe once, twice, 3 times. I think you're doing it deliberately. 100% of the times, you know what? No, this is definitely deliberate.
Yeah. Billy Blogg says, from what I have seen recently, Australia is reverting into some sort of penal colony. See, you would be right, but I'm pretty sure the guys in the penal colony had more rights. At least they knew when their sentences would be over.
They had guns.
Imagine living in a prison colony and thinking that your prison sentence would ever end. God,
Well,
Australians.
the slavery part of it, and but no, the prisoners did have more rights.
This is a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, they had guns. That's already something. That's kind of sad when you think about it.
Yeah. Prisoners with more rights than somebody today.
Yeah.
The future is supposed to become brighter, not fucking darker.
No. We want to create the
that memo.
Warhammer timeline.
They had a proper
No,
military. They
we
had
want
a really
Starship
good
Troopers.
campaign in Africa.
No,
Yeah.
Warhammer, because I want to punch Corn in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
yes.
want Starship Troopers because I want to shoot communist bugs in a cool.
You
Cyber
do
gorilla.
realize
Don't you
you can
forget
have
Tyranids
that
exist?
in 40k?
Tyranids are a bit too OP, you know. I want to fight.
Did you forget that everyone has weapons that can fuck with Tyranids? Plus, then there's the space communist blue people, space communist China.
Okay, we're going to Warhammer.
Yep.
Target
That's what I
acquired.
thought.
I keep forgetting the Tau for some reason.
It's because
that's
essentially
because they're
every other faction
completely-
is big enough that they can genocide the Tau if they put their effort to it, but they're too busy
Yeah.
fighting everyone else.
I mean, they're just that insignificant, like real communists.
The thing is it's a case of I like the Tau because it adds freshness to the lore. Everyone else is a dying empire who at one time was far more powerful, far more scary, and could genocide the entire galaxy with how advanced their weapons were. And now they're stagnant and they're falling. And the Tau instead are a small empire who only have like 10 planets, not like entire like millions and millions of planets. and they're slowly rising up. It feels fresh, though they are going to have a lot of shit very soon, in my prediction, if they ever advance the setting, which they won't, because GW is GW. Because essentially their technology is just barely underneath that which humans had, with the whole Men of Iron trying to fuck up shit, basically a Skynet situation. So logically,
Or two, when the AIs just start fucking them over. It's gonna be
Yeah.
so.
and then they'll realize, oh wait, that's why humans don't have technology like this. It's like, yeah, you're fucking stupid, Tao.
I mean, they're communists. Can you really expect them to, think?
Have brains, no.
They're
Granted.
blue. They're Democrat communists with vaginas in their faces. Holy shit! They're the future Democrats.
I swear that thing on their face is just like their nose or something, I think.
I mean,
can
I've
have
seen. I mean, what? Let's just stop there. I'm not gonna continue that one.
You've watched Rule 34 of it, haven't you?
Of course he has.
What do you
That's
think?
disgusting. Well, have a nose job then. Oh god. What makes it worse? What makes it worse, guys? The whole A level in horticulture. Anyone who's got hay fever, or I think the Americans, the uncivilized barbarian mud drinkers call it allergies or something. Essentially, what you're sneezing on is pollen, and pollen is plant semen. So you effectively every summer, every human being,
You sniff cum.
yeah, effectively, yeah.
Sniff
So
flower
every living creature that has lungs.
Why
You're
does
giving
it
the
smell
plants
so
nose jobs.
delicious?
It's yellow too.
Oh.
Oh man, don't complain. You don't even know. Like,
Okay, changing the subject.
honey is vomit.
Student of
honey is
history.
straight up
Hey,
vomit.
fuck off! I'm dieting of allergies currently.
So we went from blueberry communist future Democrats to flower semen.
Cum.
Wonderful.
You know what though? The Tau are blue, so it fits.
Exactly. And with vagina things or botched vagina-ish things in their faces. Holy shit. So inclusive.
How vibrant.
I tried to avoid saying that because I've been saying it too much. There will be vibrations.
Damn.
Okay, so let's go back to critical race theory. Based DeSantis.
No!
I'm trying to save you all. Why would you
Well,
bring
We have
let's
to
stay on
do
subject
this.
for a bit. This is interesting.
Look, we have
I mean,
to
we have
power
an
through
Australian
it.
here. He's already in pain. He can handle this better than we can.
Yes, I am used to suffering. So we'll power through the bullshit from the Lotus Eaters, then we'll have a look at some other bullshit, and then we'll go back to fantasy lore of assorted fantastical universes.
No offense, Callum.
So
I swear.
we have
I swear,
another.
if he watches this, Callum, you're a cuck. Your boss has a wife and kids. Acquire woman, put her in kitchen. I'm not wrong.
I mean, yeah. Fucking hell.
Callum smash. Callum get club. Take wife.
Simple
Right,
as.
So, Callum, seeing as you don't understand women, if they try pushing your boundaries, you hold firm. If they don't take no for an answer, they leave the relationship. If they don't leave the relationship, what you then do is you convert to Islam and become untouchable by the state, and then backhand.
Nice.
I'm serious. I'm serious here.
Hmm. So what you're saying, if your woman starts being testy, convert to Islam temporarily and just like smack.
Inshallah.
So it's like when the police come over. So we've heard that you've been slapping. It's a case of Allahu Akbar. If we've got any questions, have a nice day, sir. And then it's a case of when the police leave. It's a case of right. Are you gonna like? I'll have you in this relationship, but you have to respect the boundaries, or else. Do you fucking understand? You cunt, you bitch. We're doing this. If you're going to be my girlfriend, you will respect the boundaries. We're not having like with some of the girls I went on dates with college. It's a case of, so I'm going to have the salad. No, honey, you're going to have the steak. This is me ordering my food. But I always get what I want. You'll order the steak so you can have the chips on the steak so then I can eat it. And then I'm just like, right, goodbye, this date is over. But I always get what I want. You get nothing.
I am
No
paying
sympathy.
you.
I wonder if your girlfriend or fiance was it listens to this cast.
Well, the thing is, there's a reason why she keeps on doubting herself. Like, are you sure that you actually really think I'm the best girlfriend that you've ever had, Harry? Yes, because stories, as mentioned just then. Stop having worrying problems. Sounds like a basement. I love these comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat's pretty cool.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna risk the internet just to see it. I'm just getting curious right now.
Oh god.
Yeah, good idea.
If I start roboting like fuck, then just tell me.
Man used live eel to cure constipation. Nearly died. Why would this man look on the news channel?
Yeah, I'll agree with Jeffrey. I am memeing it a little bit, like acquire wife when you're physically fit, but they do come to you rather than the other way around. I'm memeing it a little bit, but you get what I mean.
Hello, Oil.
Hello, oil guy.
Well, howdy.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
We've been preaching the good word of denouncing women as stupid.
Well, not all women are stupid.
Yes, some of them are men.
Most of them.
So women. Confirmed by the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Women aren't stupid. They're of average intelligence.
We're going to see an entire generation of male to female Olympians just breaking records left, right, and center.
Yep,
I
get what
really
you
hope.
fucking
I
deserve.
really hope when all of this nonsense ends, we essentially just have a
become
thing.
two.
I really hope in the future, just these records are reset to when it was just fucking women, like actual, like normal women, and just a case of, all right, okay, well, who really breaks records? You know, that kind of thing. I really hope we have that because just like the reset and the return to normalcy, because the pendulum swing eventually is going to fucking happen.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen from some other cause by then, I reckon it'll happen after the next Olympics because now they've seen that they can get away with it.
Yeah.
You know what's
how
worse
the
though?
hell
Actually,
are
the
women's-
Olympics opening ceremony was terrible.
Yes, it was.
I
Because
didn't
it's a
watch it
case of-
because I'm boycotting the fucking thing.
was
We'll have
genuinely
no
awful.
audience. Well, fuck you.
How the
It's a
hell
case-
are biological females supposed to compete when this person comes in and resets a record? And let's talk weightlifting, 70 kilograms more than the women's world record, and he just smashes it like it's nothing. How
Yeah.
do women suddenly compete? They have to overcome this 70-kilogram hump to even compete with the transgender athlete in their
Yeah.
same class.
But I have to
And we're
I have
talking
to say,
like
I think
something like the 500th best man or some shit.
You know what though? If
but
I may,
I think this is great though. I think this is great. I myself am considering joining Great Britain's female fencing team. I haven't done any for a decade, but I assume I'll still be the best.
right, you'll literally just power right through their sword and snap it in half, and then just declare yourself
I
the
mean,
winner.
well, you have to go saber, don't you, rather than foils? But yeah, I mean, should be easy enough.
Ned Jeffrey, yes, I want all of the records to be retracted and medals to be retracted. That's what I'm getting at. Like when all the pendulum swing
Yeah.
happens, it should
Yes.
all be retracted.
Yeah.
All of it.
Fucking better
yes.
be.
Yeah, I think it'll
I mean-
happen after possibly the next Olympics, where now that they've seen they can get away with it, a bunch of men will go in pretending to be women, dominate every single sport, and then they'll have to turn around and go, well, this doesn't fucking work because all the women will lose their nuts.
We need a really high-profile super Chad sportsman to do it. So like Andy Murray should just go in for because he can't win
Oh.
the men's anymore because he's fucked.
You know what? I
But
want
he should just go.
I
in
want a man
and
who's got an obvious
annihilate
beard to declare himself a
the
woman
women's Wimbledon.
in an actual
The
martial
prize
arts
money
sport of the Olympics, and
The
just
same.
it would be great.
Prize money's the same, man. Just fucking go for it.
Well, it's the sad reality that once there is a single
on this
transgender in every category of
I
sports.
was
Actually,
all
If-
gold.
If
What?
I may, though, with the whole knowledge of martial arts and fitness, like there are idiots who will explain it away saying, yeah, but the only difference is testosterone that gives them extra strength, and the thing is, no. The testosterone does give extra strength.
Oh, it's-
However, there are other things that make men stronger than women as well.
Yeah, it's
like
the
bone density, muscle
making
Yeah.
density.
muscles
Yes.
faster,
And then it's a case of, for
fibers
martial
and-
arts sports, this is the worst, because essentially just
and
for bone density, it means you can take more punishment, your bones are actually heavier, so you can hit harder. And it's like all of these tiny little
Harder, yeah.
advantages that are outside of just having, what's it called? I'm slipping on the thing. Outside of just having the strength boost
Well,
of
also
testosterone.
having an extra. Also having an extra foot of reach kind of helps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that helps as well. Also as well, on top of that,
Just
then you
a little
have
bit.
a bigger heart, which allows for more blood pumping, which allows more blood to muscles for more strength.
Yeah.
And then you have larger lungs, and it's a case of then the actual like tissue, like the fucking tendons on muscles can actually withstand more strain
Yeah.
anyway, even if they don't
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of Jesus
Yeah.
fucking Christ, men are literally just made
but
to be
it's-
thrown at wars.
Well,
But it-
not.
but
You
it's-
also
but it's
add
also-
Faster
I mean,
reaction,
it's-
better
it's
spatial
even- it's
awareness.
even- it's
yes,
even more
yes,
than that.
Billy.
So yeah, I was gonna get right. So I was just about to say it's even more than that. It's actually like spatial awareness and everything that men are just better at because of hunting.
Well,
It's like
You know,
the
like,
only
the thing
thing.
you've got to remember: every man that's alive today is the descendant of a winner.
Yes. I actually read a
That's-
book on
that's a
biology,
fact,
like a
yeah.
really extensive one, a while back, and there is one or two things, and these one or two things that women are better at do not make them better in any sports, right? They can lose one more drop of blood before going into shock. Fucking really useful. They can tell colors apart, like healthy eyes in a man, healthy eyes, bigger skull. Yeah, it's like more people are just listing it, just going on and on and on. And it's a
Yeah.
case of I endorse this message, but it's a case of the one or two things that females are actually better at on average. They can lose one more drop of blood before going into shock.
It makes
Fucking
sense
wonderful.
if they're able to lose a drop more blood, considering the whole once a month thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To add on to
And
what
then-
Oil was saying, though, because he's like, all of us are descended from winners. Yes. Approximately
Yes.
only 40% of all the men that ever lived succeeded in breeding. So all of us are descended
Yeah.
from the best, the top 40% of
Chaddest
all
of
men
Chads.
ever. Exactly.
Yes.
Genetically Chad.
And we still
I-
have
just
those dead ends.
The Pillar Man theme in the
Um,
background starts playing.
Yeah, but just on the topic of stupidity, just 2 days ago, I was having a conversation with a literally blue-haired feminist, and I was saying, I was talking about the about how intelligence is sort of plotted out. Like if you take 100 people, the 10 smartest will be men, and the 10 stupidest will be men.
Yeah.
And I was talking about, and I said, well, I mean, you've got to remember, half of all people are under average IQ. And she went, well, how can that possibly be true? And I said, well, guess which side of the divide you're on.
Nice.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Across
the,
this new
the
divide.
word is average.
Student of history, I like you. Yes.
Learn to math.
But what's it called? The one other thing that women are better at, the only other thing, and it's like an average thing, and it's for actually picking fruit as well, is being able to tell different colors apart. Essentially, like a shade of yellow to another shade of yellow. That's it.
Yeah, which is when my wife picks out paint, I go, that's the same as the one that's there.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh wait,
No,
no. I tell a lie. Also, as well, they can store fat better. So essentially, if like there's a big freeze and everyone's going to die of the cold, they'll have a slightly higher chance of surviving it to essentially just keep the
chat
species
starts,
alive.
So I'm logging off.
All right. Catch you later,
So
friend.
yeah,
Enjoy the
me
call.
as well. I'll catch you up.
Yeah, it makes sense that the women would be better at surviving a period of starvation because, like, you don't need that many men to spawn a new generation.
You only need one man and 100 women, but if you have 100 men and one woman, good fucking luck.
What you're
And
going
there'll
to
be a
end
lot
up,
of inbreeding in the next generation, but it's a case of eventually it'll correct itself as genetic mutations happen, and it's a case of deal with it. And essentially, a case of looking at the human genetics, there is actually evidence that there was a lot of like inbreeding at one point in in the past because there was a lower population number and a near bottleneck situation. So it's a case of it's happened before, so it sounds really stupid in theory, but it does actually like have a precedent that it would work.
Probably would have
yeah.
been because of the Ice Age.
Like, if
Yeah.
you did end up with a situation where you had 99 men and 1 woman, what you'd end up with is like 4 men and 96 bodies.
Yes.
You'd just end up with a bunch of dead people.
Yes. I mean, it is. Though I will say this: it's a case of it's all right having 99 or 100 slaves, and you're the one man who gets to breed them all wherever he wants to. But do you want to fucking listen to their bitching? Do you really?
Well, that's why they invented the harem. You keep them in a different fucking building, and they're not allowed to leave.
Yes. Actually, that solves a lot of problems. Actually. Student of history. It's estimated that you would wipe out at one point. There was only 10k people worldwide. Yeah. Essentially, that's what I was like getting at. I couldn't remember the exact number off the top of my head. Thanks, student of history. So it has happened before. Lol, build more kitchens. You see, he's getting it. Okay. It's like we've seen how society has just gone wrong with feminism. And it's a case of, all right, so when did society go wrong? When feminism existed, when women wanted to have equal rights but not the same responsibilities, and they didn't want to be in the kitchen anymore. Right, okay, so what if we just stop doing the same thing over and over again and expect to get a different result? And we put them back in kitchen, maybe things will fix themselves.
Mm. Well,
Case
it
of-
blows my mind that they're like, oh, why can't people afford to have families? Well, shit, I don't know. You triple the fucking workforce, and what happens to wages, you fucking idiots?
You put the wenches in the workforce instead of in kitchen. What is wrong with you?
You've heard of basement dweller? Prepare for kitchen dweller.
Yes.
I like 600, 6135, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Boobies. I get it. Very funny. Men are still better cooks. Well, interestingly, most cooks are women, but most professional chefs are men. Which, if he was here, Trim would tell you that men make better chefs.
What's it called? I am kind of curious because girlfriend is American, and next time I'm visiting the US, she said she wants to cook me Hunter's chicken, and I'm just thinking to myself, right, you've not even practiced making Hunter's chicken. You're going to make it the first time. This is either going to go really well or it's not, and I'm kind of, she's cooked other things before, but it's a case of the fact that she's never cooked this meal specifically and practiced is the part that I'm just like, oh, okay, this will be interesting.
Well, that'll be fun.
It's either going to come out really well or really terrible. Anyway, back to the depressing news.
Solomon, Anglo said that you had some things to chat about.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Well, yeah. Okay, so yesterday, while trawling the internet, I found a interview between the Unheard YouTube channel, so 140k subscribers, and Larry Sanger, the original co-founder of Wikipedia, talking about how leftists are gatekeeping the Wikipedia revision section and making political articles that are swinging towards a bias, even though the 5 pillars approach by Wikipedia has a objective policy as one of its core tenets. The co-founder of Wikipedia no longer trusts the website. There's sections being gatekept regarding the Hunter Biden laptop, voter integrity, all sorts of biased matters that are in favor of the Democrat Party, and they are just gatekeeping. Any change being made is scrutinized, and in the background, they managed to miss a lot of things. Like if you go to the section on abortion and look at the revision history on how over the years words are being omitted to soften the language.
You know what? I once watched actually a documentary about abortion for the following reason. It was just a case of how can people justify this? And the thing that horrified me the most, and also as well, I saw the circumcision scene in the Red Pill documentary. The thing that horrified me, let's strap a literal baby onto a torture device, and Jesus Christ, I didn't think babies could scream like that. And I've heard babies scream because I was babysitting for someone. It's like, no, it's a different type of screaming. It's please stop the pain. Why do people think this is okay? And I don't want to hear anyone say, but religious beliefs. No. You should not have to strap down a child to a torture device as part of your religious beliefs. I'm sorry. But with the abortion one, you can see on the ultrasound, they're sentient enough even before being born, effectively, to know that something is trying to kill them like a predator. And then you see the limbs literally get ripped off. It's like, no, this is evil. This is evil. This is pure evil.
As well as when you consider in America, they can do it like right up till just before birth.
It's evil.
Yeah. The justification's really weak as well. It's like, oh, but I was what was it, like unprotected sex? It's like, well, there's condoms, there's millions of other things. That's not an excuse. And then there's
Learn to be
well,
responsible. Deal with the consequences of your reaction.
And then there's like, oh, well, I got raped. And it's like, well, if you got raped, then why didn't you take him to court as well? Because if they take them to court, that's fine. But the fact that they haven't, it's like, so you're just probably using it as an excuse of people who have actually been raped to justify your irresponsibility.
The thing is as well, is with people like that, it's a case of, for all jokes aside, it's a case of, because men and women are important to society, they just fulfill different roles. And so I'm actually not sexist, but feminists are making me sexist, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am not actually racist, but when I see some of the stuff the BLM people do, it's a case of, right, you're making me want to call you an N-word. Essentially.
Mm. The thing is, I think with the abortion argument, it should be made that instead of it being whether it's a life or not, it should be measured in potential to be a life or not.
I fucking love some of these comments. Look, there's this difference between an ant, Robert. There's a difference between an ant and an actual genetic human kind of thing. Come on.
Are you sure we've spliced our DNA with ants? Humans and ant hybrids. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing.
No, but it's like a case of... so I don't exactly want to see like the fucking... I just can't understand how someone could, like, there are exceptions to the rule when you're going to die because of genetic defect. That there's exceptions to the rule when it's incest. Yeah, okay, fine. Keyword exceptions to the rule. There's exceptions to the rule where it's rape and you're not in a position where... I was reading it as fast as possible. I wasn't trying to, like, read it in great detail. Skimming and scamming. I wasn't going for the full detail, Robert. Okay, I apologize. Harry BTFO. Harry is wrong. Okay, happy? Yeah. Oh, I lost my track of thought now. Thanks, Robert. Harry, read my comment out loud.
What's this comment?
You made a spelling mistake, therefore you're wrong as well. Fuck you. I've won all internet arguments. Robert is destroyed. He shall never recover from the shame. No. See a child pulling the wings off of flying ants. You think, oof, that's not a nice kid. So why is it okay? Yeah, okay, yeah. Now I see what you mean. When I see what you mean now, Robert. When it's like a case of read it out properly, it's like, yeah, I fucking agree with you entirely. Yeah, but to be fair, there are some like differences between an actual ant. Is what I was getting at when I misread what you were saying. There's difference between an ant and like a baby, but fucking Christ, feminists are awful. Cause it's like, sorry, I'm going to cross myself. Sorry, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, but
Harry, calm down.
I've listened to some feminists. It's a case of why would I want a parasite eating the nutrients out of my own blood. It's like, that is not a parasite.
The worst thing is, the fact was they were in that position at once in their life as well, and it's like, well, should we have done that to you? And they'll be like, no, 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 because
Every abortion activist has been born.
That's a good point.
Yeah, true.
You're advocating for your own non-existence. It's a case of, like, I know the world becomes nihilistic the more religion you remove from it, but it's a case of, come on, perhaps this is too much nihilism. Can we not do this?
Yeah, like, I'm probably a bit more pro-choice, which is not even the right way of describing it than it sounds like you guys are, but dear God, like, you're right. A lot of people consider it in the same fucking way as they consider going to get a fucking tooth filling. Like, no. This is more on the level of having your fucking appendix taken out at the bare fucking minimum. Like, we're not talking something minor. We're talking a major life-altering traumatic event here, guys.
I was definitely right with it's better prevention than medication.
Yeah, especially in this case. Like, I'm very much a safe, legal, and rare kind of guy.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Oh yeah.
From my perspective, from my opinion,
that's why I said exceptions to the rule, because it's rare and it's
My opinion, though, is probably a bit more liberal. It's more of a, it's legal up to whatever age for whatever reason, but it should be socially shamed to get it for anything but the exceptions that we've just covered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably in the more nihilistic line of view, because I'm more in the camp of the very nihilistic position of, do we really want more unwanted children? And yes, I know, adoption, blah, 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 but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that's not reliable lately.
Yeah. Well, just give your kids to pedophiles.
Yeah,
Would you rather we'll ask some kids, would you rather be aborted or given to a pedophile for 18 years?
Thing is, I know some people who would say, who would refuse to say aborted because, you know, life is valuable, and it's a key. Like, you know, I feel like some people would still say no, give me life, kind of thing. But that's my personal bias. But with the abortion thing as well, it actually physically leaves you scarred as well. Like, the leftists who are idiots and say, where's the harm? They're always referring to, where's the physical harm? Where's the physical damage? And just because it's on your insides does not mean that there is not actual damage there. It's like if I put, essentially, like, I use a pen and I put a marking on my inner thighs, and then I put on my clothes, and you can't see it, therefore there's nothing there. That's not how that works, leftists, if you're watching this, because I'm going to fucking destroy your argument. Okay, just as you can't see the inner walls of a woman, doesn't mean that when you fucking scrape shit out of there to make sure you get every last little bit of the baby that attaches to the fucking thing, that does not mean that doesn't do any harm just because you cannot see it. It leaves a permanent scar, and then you can't always actually give birth correctly because, you know, there's this weird thing called studying biology rather than just say, but my body, my choice. You know, no, actually, no, it causes genuine fucking life-altering effects where you might not ever be able to have a kid after this.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. No, it's a major
and there have
problem.
been a lot of studies that have been done that even the people who are like, oh, pro-abortion, like, no, they still actually suffer psychologically. Robert Longshore says Bezic is on the same page as me, sort of social shame because of the failure of the individual to protect themselves from major life-changing events from occurring. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
If you end up in
Social
the
shame
position
is the correct
to need
way.
an abortion, you have failed. You have not.
Social shame is the correct way. It's a case of exceptions for the rule, social shame for those who are just doing it because they don't want to have a kid. But it's a case of no social shame for someone who did it because they were raped and they're not in a position where they can actually, like, raise a kid. No social shame for some sort of incest situation and or having again been raped. No social shame for, well, I literally have a medical condition which meant having a child would have had me murdered. Like, murder is the wrong word. It would have had me die. And I don't want to die. Therefore, it's a case of, I'm sorry that I failed society. It's a case of, no, you don't get to be social shamed because, like, it's not your fault. I'm sorry that you just had an illness. You made such the conscious decision to be ill. Yeah, no, that's not how we'll do this. However,
Yeah.
abortion for down kids. Oh, this will be an interesting one. I promise I'll read the full thing, Robert, this time, okay? Because I'm sorry about before. Because yeah, Harry PTFO kind of thing. However, abortion for down kids or kids with other messed up conditions that fuck up their lives and the lives and the resources of the surrounding communities
And he then
should
goes
be
to
allowed.
clarify, should be allowed, I meant. Yeah.
Hmm.
I agree with Robert. Again, I do believe that it is a tragedy, but
Oh yeah.
anyone who says that someone with Down syndrome can live a happy life is a fucking idiot. Like,
How do you
sure,
define happy?
that's a good point, actually.
Because
Well,
it's a
they don't
case of I get what you're
Where-
saying,
where-
but
where
how do you
you-
define happy?
where they can live independently by the fruit of their own labor and be free.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
If
with
that's- If that's how you
Some-
define happy, because it's a case of look, as someone who has both dyslexia and also what's it called, Asperger's syndrome. The best way I can describe this, if no one minds me, just like explain briefly as possible.
Oh, that's
There's billions and billions of connections in the brain that like they wire up together to essentially make the most complex computer that has ever fucking existed. Humanity, BTFO, God's still better at creating things. Fuck you, you'll never surpass God, kind of thing. Let's just simplify it for this explanation because it's a lot easier this way if there's only 20 parts of the brain that need to connect with each other. So there's 0.1, 0.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and going all the way up to 20. So in a normal person's brain, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 20 as should do. With someone who is born where it's a case of they just have they have something that's like they're slightly different as a result, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 6, 8, 7, 9, 5, and it's a case of when you do that, you create sort of peculiar thought patterns as a result. Essentially, you can have increased intelligence, but the case of not being able to sort of understand social cues very well, because you only mess with the numbers just a tiny little bit. However, if you go 1 letter X, 70, 100 billion, exclamation point, if you start doing stuff like that with the brain, it's a vegetable.
And the thing is, as well, when you're a parent and you have a child with Down syndrome, you
Yeah.
remain the role of parent for life, which is not
Yes.
expected of,
Yes.
say, more healthy children. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm a parent until they're old enough to look after themselves.
Yeah, and another thing that people don't take into consideration is, okay, sure, the parents look after the child with Down syndrome until the parent dies of old age or is physically incapable of looking after them, at which point they go into the care of the government. And as we've covered, that's not fucking good.
No. Also, yeah, essentially, to the guy who said error, error, the fucking error comment. Yeah, that's
Pause.
essentially when you mess around with it too much, basically.
Yeah, error 404.
Yeah.
Brain not found.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what happens when essentially like there are people who they're just born lucky and they just can't understand like social cues because essentially
Yeah.
just Asperger's syndrome isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just
Yeah, which is
you
why
cannot automatically know when someone's like doing like you can't read eye contact, facial expression, body language, voice tone, stuff like that. I could do it nowadays because you gain intelligence and you learn to do it manually. But essentially, to childhood Harry, there was no difference between the following: "I'm really sorry" and "I'm really sorry." I couldn't hear a difference. Okay, I'm pronouncing it badly, Robert. Okay, thanks.
yeah.
But it's hilarious in education when I look back on it because I would get into so much trouble for. I fucking love this guy's comments. God. I would get into so much trouble for being rude, and every time I would ask the teachers, "But what is being rude?" And they just could not understand that this peculiar concept that a child might be telling the truth.
Yeah. And to touch on something there and to expand on it,
Yeah.
This is why it's so helpful to, regardless of what the DSM-5 says, to have a distinction between Asperger's and autism. Because in Asperger's, to use your analogy earlier, it's like 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 onwards. You're usually just missing one bit, and that's the social bit. And like you said, because people with Asperger's specifically tend to have above average intelligence, they can use that intelligence to learn to do the things that everyone else does automatically manually, but when they're doing it manually, it drags their intellect back to average.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So it's just a case of you just have situations where they stop focusing. Like if I stop focusing on, well, I'm going to what's it called? Stop focusing on trying to do like social interaction properly. Then it's a case of I can say really smart things, but I come off as the most awful asshole when I do so. So it's a case of pros and cons to both of these kind of situation.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I do personally think Asperger's syndrome. Like you've raised a good point there. Asperger's syndrome and autism should be counted differently because it's a case of yeah, okay, I guess you could say there's similarities because high functioning. Now, fuck off.
Yeah, like one of the key differences is that people with Asperger's and / or high functioning autism can live independently. Granted, only 30% of them can are employed, which is a fucking problem that we on of its own, but they can at least live on their own. Like, you give someone with Asperger's or high functioning autism an apartment, and they'll probably not die from not feeding themselves. But
I mean,
someone on the lower ends, nah.
It's literally just shit everywhere. And the thing is, it's a case of when I say that, I'm saying this peculiarly. It's like some people are going to just jump to conclusions, think, "What the fuck is he saying?" I actually that's from personal experience where I say it's just the entire room, all the walls is just shit. Because go on 4chan and look at Tard stories, and you'll know very quickly what I mean. But one time, essentially, just before the first lockdown in the UK, back when the world was free, I was physically fit. I could lift 40 kilograms with one hand over my head. Yeah, the good old days when we had freedom and I could actually speak to people and be treated like an actual human being. And see people's fucking faces. Oh god, I miss those days. Sorry, getting sidetracked. There's this thing called the British Trust in the UK, and it's meant to help you get a job if you don't already have one. But it's meant to essentially be for naughty people who haven't got a job because they keep on doing like naughty criminal shit. So it's a case of it was kind of funny because you could clearly tell who was there because essentially people refuse to hire them because they have Asperger's syndrome or they're not very like good at socializing. Hi Ben, if you're Billy, if you're watching this channel, do you want us to be friends again? Because I liked how I could see your confidence coming out here. And Jared, I think his name was. If you're watching this, you are not the most physically fit man in the world because you were to stop every 2 minutes on that walking trip. Go fuck your overconfident ass. Sorry, no, he was really annoying because he bragged about being fitter than everyone else forever constantly, and apparently at the age of 16, every woman in the entire planet wanted to sit on his lap and suck his dick. And it's like, listen, Billy. Not Billy, sorry, the other guy. You and I, at best, are 5 out of 10 for appearances. Okay? And for fitness, you are a 1 out of 10. No, 0 out of 10. Why the fuck would these girls be interested in you? And the thing is when I say that, it's a case of either all of these girls are not 10 out of 10s as he's been claiming they've been, like every 10 out of 10 in the world wants him. Either they are minus millions out of 10, or he's making up horse shit. And if they're minus a million out of 10, you don't want to fucking brag about that wanting to sit on your lap.
Oh,
You
yeah.
really fucking don't. It's a case of that is an anti-flex. But anyway, you could tell, like the person just mentioned earlier. No, I think his name was Jordan. Actually, it's a case. It's a while since I've done it. You could tell who were there for being naughty, and Billy was an okay guy, kind of thing. I miss Billy. He was fun to talk to actually. And, eventually,
Harry,
it was
I'll just
sad.
cut you off so I can read some comments from Solomon, and then
sorry.
We'll let you go again.
My apologies. I ramble too much.
We've noticed, but it's so good. So Solomon Guthrie says, Iceland stopped Down syndrome by legalizing and subsidizing prenatal abortion on confirmed Down syndrome in uterus. They haven't had a single case born of the last generation. Perks of living on a small island, you get to just route a birth defect from the population.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, it's
In
very
fact, they do
close
mean
to the
sure.
to the nasty eugenics word, but honestly, I'm willing to make an exception from Down syndrome because that's legitimately just suffering. Like,
I mean, as well in Iceland, with the freezing temperatures in blizzards, that could result in death, and that's not something you want to cause.
yeah.
But essentially, like, I'm not going to talk about the people who were on that thing when I start again. I'll just essentially go back to the situation I was referring to, like the whole thing that started me on this rant. Sorry for rambling, but bad at social cues, as mentioned earlier. How ironic, kind of thing. The irony.
Yeah, you're good to go again. Harry.
So anyway, one of the things that we had to do is, towards the end, you had to have a work placement. Now, I actually was a bit naughty, because this was the second time I went on the Prince's Trust program, because the first time I went on the Prince's Trust program, it was a case of, fuck off. You've done the work, we don't, goodbye, kind of thing, so that was helpful. So it's a case of, you're not really meant to go on it twice, but because it's a case of, I'm willing to just lie, cheat, and steal, so to speak, to get a job, I went on it a second time, and it was a daycare for the elderly that I was put on my work experience on, and they fucking loved me there, to the point where effectively I had a job in the palm of my hands, gave him my CV and everything. They were like, "Oh, we can't wait to work with you." And when the coronavirus happened and the lockdown, the job was effectively snatched out of my hands as I was trying to close my fingers around it, which is really annoying. But there was a guy there who had Down syndrome, one of these old people who at the daycare. There was a lot of shit. And essentially, I didn't actually have the training there, but I would have been given the training if I, what's it called, if I was hired there. The staff members were meant to tuck in his pants after. It's not wasn't pleasant. Yeah, no, the smell was not nice.
Oh no.
So essentially, it's just a case of no. Down syndrome people, it's how would they contribute? It's a case of they contribute by a lot of shit on one of the walls.
Yeah,
At that daycare.
Like I've met a few people with Down syndrome, and they're lovely people. Like, because they're not smart enough to be mean. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not that they're deliberately doing something. It's just that they lack potential. You know.
Who I truly feel sorry for isn't the really stupid people, and I'm using stupid in the academic definition now, guys.
Yeah.
I don't feel as sorry for the really stupid people. I feel sorry for the people that are between stupid and average intellect, because they usually just twigged on enough to realize that they're not normal, and then they just suffer for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had a point there, but okay, it was worth saying anyway.
Yeah. I mean, as well, though, like, I can't remember, for a long time ago, there was a debate going on, I think in the American Senate somewhere, where there's a Down syndrome person arguing, it's like, well, should we be aborted for the way we are? But this guy was different, because he was actually conscious and quite intelligent for someone with Down syndrome. So he actually spiked a pretty interesting argument. Well, how can we measure any level of intelligence in a Down syndrome child that hasn't been born yet, or the potential for?
Yeah, that's the thing where this then gets really complex, kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's when we start looking at statistics. Are we looking at 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000? Like, are we really willing to take the chance and have 99 out of 100 people born with this condition spend their entire lives suffering?
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, I've had this joke with a friend of mine once. I ended up talking to him on Skype every Monday. God, do you guys remember Skype? Do you feel old yet?
Yes.
But essentially, I had this joke with him once. There is no situation where there is the one perfect answer that is never wrong in any situation whatsoever, except, of course, put the women in the fucking kitchen. No. But seriously, there isn't really any situation where just this one answer fits every, like, the thing where you can put one peg in every shape of hole kind of situation. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's odd. Yeah, student of history is the one who says that. The irony.
I used to use that. I remember the cool noise still.
Yeah.
Well, I hear it every Monday because I speak to him every Monday. So it's like, you're not as old as me, boy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Crap, I had a good point, but I've completely lost it. Fuck, I hate that.
That's a shame.
Oh no, you did have a good point, but it's like I'm just saying there's not really
No,
a thing
I
where.
had another thing to say, I meant.
Oh
Sorry.
right, sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. I had another thing additional to that to say that I thought was really cool, but I've completely forgotten it, which is annoying. I'm sure it'll come back eventually. Yeah. Yeah, Wikipedia.
Yes.
Right, so they've got we all know they've got a left-wing bias, but apparently, and I didn't know this, that the Daily Mail and Fox News just get completely plastered. You cannot use them at all, which I'm not surprised by, but I didn't know.
Fuck's sake.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Let me guess. The person who wrote this rulebook was, of course. I'll let you fill in the rest of the words.
Communist, pedophile,
And a woman.
feminist.
Mentally ill.
If
I
it's
said-
a woman, if it's actually a woman as well, that'd be hilarious after I said that.
Anglo, you don't need to say mentally ill. I said communist and feminist.
Of course. Yes,
These two are not mutually exclusive.
yes.
So on the COOF, if you look at the articles that Wikipedia has, you can see just how they're simply mouthing the view of the World Economic Council, or World Economic Forum, and the World Health Organization, CDC, etc., etc., etc. Global enforcement of a certain point of view. And Solomon goes on to say that Dr. Robert Malone, who I think we're all familiar with, is being unpersoned on Wikipedia, despite being the inventor of mRNA, vaccine synthesizing technology. Yeah, he did a podcast recently with Brett Weinstein. Use of the drug that cannot be named. Yep.
Yes.
To treat COVID.
Proxy.
No, the other drug that cannot be named.
The one which managed to
Save
wound-
India.
save what?
Save India. They were.
Yeah.
The drug that has over 4 billion registered uses in history and only 28 cases of negative side effects.
I think it was
That's
only.
very effective.
I think it was specifically 28 cases of severe side effects, but yeah, I'm pretty sure more people have died as a result of adverse effects following the medical procedure that cannot be named.
Oh, that one. Yes, gotcha.
And yes.
Silly me.
This malarial anti-parasite drug that is just so goddamn good and cheap because it's 30 years out of patent, no money can be made, and it's all about these extortionary contracts we saw yesterday about these companies charging countries around the world with bullshit terms in the contract. You have no rights. We can ship you vials of water. You cannot object to this. You still need to pay. You cannot use not paying as a political crutch against us. We will sue you. We will be in our rights. Sign here, please.
That was really messed up.
What gets
So
me...
I would like to please sign here, and so then I can rape your wife, your daughters, all of your sisters, your son, and also castrate him and emasculate him. Also as well punch you in the face and removal of your teeth, and also take your dog as my pet before raping it. Sign here, please. Thank you. It's like, I'm sorry, what? Who signed this?
See,
Yeah,
Who the fuck?
What gets me though
All the
is
G7
that,
nations probably ended up signing that shit.
Yeah.
All the G7s.
Yeah.
They would have
all of
signed
them.
that shit.
What blows
to
my
see.
mind specifically is that a lot of these countries could be like, yeah, sure, we'll sign your bullshit contract, get the doses, and then be like, we're a nation state, kiss our ass, fuck you.
I like how it's Albania that leaks it out of everywhere.
The thing is what annoys me the most is a case of we have this really extortionate contract. You have to sign it, or you've got no other choice. You see, we have guns, And
We're gonna have
tanks.
the,
We have a military.
the Pfizer right-wing health squads.
It's a case of I'm sorry that you think you're in control of the situation, but we have a military and you will give us a fair fucking contract. It's a case of why the fuck did no one do that?
Well, these days companies get far too few restrictions on how they can operate.
Yes, but like it's a case of things just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, that is why.
Broomstick exists. Yes, student of history. This is the correct way to do things. When super mega evil corporation that's obviously from a comic book series, because we're literally getting to comic book levels of evil slowly, I swear. What you do is you remind the Joker that he does not control the US military, essentially.
Yeah, no, Jeffrey makes exactly our point. Pfizer doesn't rule the fucking world. Countries can just say no. Yes, which is
exactly.
Why the CDC...
And if you need the vaccine because like it's actually a genuine threat, you say we have tanks. You will get compensation, but you're not charging everything in the entire fucking world and breaking our bullshit economy and doing whatever the fuck you want.
Well, that's why, obviously, all these organisations, the mouthpieces of the Communist Party, and two stacks Biden's fucking sidekick, Fauci, are so desperate to be like, oh, it's going to kill everyone. 50% of the population will be gone in months. Yeah, because you want people to agree to Pfizer's bullshit.
In the world of the propaganda of this disease, everyone's already dead. Like, 70 billion, trillion, infinite people have died of an awful zombie plague. I swear, like, health professionals, no, not professionals, health idiots are treating what is the coronavirus effectively as a real-life zombie plague, or SCP, not 001. What the fuck is it called? The flesh that hates. Yeah. They're treating it like that, and the thing is, if a zombie plague, I'm gonna sound really like a hypocrite because my philosophy is freedom at all costs. Aside from no, I'm not gonna make the women joke again. Sorry. My philosophy is freedom at all costs. It's a case of I'm still aware that you need to keep yourself safe, and so it's a case of I'm more or less always no freedom, not security kind of thing. However, when you have a literal zombie plague, yes, thank you, student of history. When you have the literal zombie plague, or when you have the flesh that hates, it's a case of, right, security until this problem ends. And I know that's an incredibly slippery slope, but when you literally have the Walking Dead running around in a zombie plague, that I guess it would have to be airborne, because if it traveled by bites, bullets exist, and it wouldn't really take off, kind of thing. And 610 is also horrifying for its own reasons. If this was an actual problem, yeah, I'd be more willing and inclined to essentially say, yeah, no, this is an issue. I'll like think that they're being reasonable. They're being reasonable, and yeah, lockdown is a good thing. But honestly, world leaders and hospitals, they're fucking acting like this is the zombie plague, and I hate it.
Well, that's it. Like the reactions they're giving for a virus that's confirmed to affect like 0.02, or in the case of people under 30, when you round to 3 orders of magnitude, it's 0 with nothing remaining. But they're treating it like a virus that's like 15 fucking % fatality rate or higher. It's like, guys, no.
It seems like it's a 90%. That's the thing.
Well, with the way they're acting about the vaccine, like, have you any of you guys seen The Last Ship?
No.
Yes,
no.
I have.
They're acting like it's the fucking last ship.
I've not seen that or heard of that in ages.
So
that is a good show, actually.
Yeah,
Sounds familiar.
It was pretty good. It's basically that there's a ship that's doing super ultra secret military bullshit over in like the North Seas that later becomes the super secret bullshit later becomes plot relevant, but they're out of contact radio silence for ages, and then when they come back out, they can't get in touch with anybody. Turns out a massive virus has wiped out like 90+% of the fucking population of the world. Yeah. So basically, that's the kind of world that Fauci thinks we're living in.
Understand essentially restrictions on freedom if that was the world we're living in, because it's a case of well, you know what I mean, don't you? It's like it's a case I can't really explain it. Freedom at all costs. However, I do have self-preservation.
Yeah, like it's one thing when you've got a virus that's 0.02 or less fatality rate compared to an airborne virus that has a 99.999% fatality rate. Like, because that's what they advertise in the last ship. It's something like 99.9999% fatality rate.
I do love the way they introduced the of course it's a black girl, the girl who essentially is genetically immune. It's a case of I swear it's like the wokeness was creeping in even when that show was written, but it's a case of like the reaction the characters had to, oh shit, someone's actually not in hazmat gear and they're alive. That's fucking crazy. It's like, well, yeah, it is kind of thing. It's a really shocking moment.
Yeah.
When can you miss it too?
Ned Jeffrey, if you posted a link in the YouTube chat, I think YouTube ate it. Because YouTube are fags.
You gotta replace the dots with spaces. Or just the word
God,
dot.
cunt.
Or if you're in the Discord, you can just post it because we don't do stupid bullshit like censorship.
Except when you mess with the NSFW chat.
Yeah, we take our NSFW chat really fucking seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. For context, like some idiot was just, I don't know who it was, but it's just a case of I'm going to fill it with. It's a case of just some guy who's literally having shit come out of his transgender vag and just ask if this is normal. I'm going to troll the shit out of this, and it's just a case of what the fuck is this? It's a case of, hey guys, let's have a nice chat with each other, debate certain things in politics. It's like, what the fuck is this? Why have you done this? This is disgusting.
Cut off your genitals, gouge out your eyes, die! Cut off your genitals, gouge out your eyes, die!
Like, there was some really seriously screwed up stuff in there.
And the thing is, I've seen worse, because it's essentially, oh yeah, well, in case I ever have a situation where World War III happens and I'm conscripted into war, I should desensitize myself to violent imagery. I've seen worse, but it's a case of, why are you doing it?
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
It wasn't the fact that it was a horrible image that got me. It was the fact that it was in my anime titty section. I was going looking for sexy anime titties, and then there was that.
It's they're like, Mirako from My Hero Academia. This scat pot. Shut up! Shut the fuck up, student of history. Shut the fuck up. It's a case of Mirako from My Hero Academia. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Why is this here?
Yes. It ended, though we do now have two channels, one for anime titties and one for real titties, because apparently that's something we needed.
Yes.
No, it's been broken down into three sections. It's been broken down from normal SFW to now that's fucked up, and then it's a case if someone had the brilliant idea of yeah, but then have a third one for actual like human tits, and it's a case of how long before we need a fourth one, really?
So here's the interesting thing: we've had the one for human tits for a day or so now, and it's still empty.
Real women bad, and
this is like the biggest shit on women ever.
Your anime waifu can't hurt you like a 3D woman can.
It's like, oh, this is going to be one of the most out of context memes. Someone is going to just essentially just make whatever kind of joke they imagine. But yeah,
Spoon's uploaded a new video.
Yeah,
that's good. I still need to work on doing the politics of Attack on Titan thing. Honestly, I need to like give myself do it for say 30 minutes or an hour a day, because it's the case if you spend 3 hours on it one day and you then get sick of it and you don't do it for like 3 weeks and you go back to it and it's a case of no, scheduling seems to be like the way to do this. kind of thing.
Student of history says, when I want to beat my dick to anime titties, but some arsehole posted shitting out of their fake pussy. Degenerate swine. Basically.
No, the thing is, though, is it's a case of, I wasn't beating my dick, it's just a case of, okay, what the fuck did someone put here? And it's a case of, dude, what the fuck is this? Kind of thing. It's a case of, oh, another notification, what the fuck is this? Another notification, what the fuck is this? Kind of thing. It's like, I click on like the notification, essentially just to get it off the thing on my iPad or on my laptop. And it's a case of, well, that clearly is in the wrong folder. I've seen worse, but what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yes. For people's sanity, I did go and do some bot work, and that channel's now opt-in.
Good.
Anyway, the article that Ned Jeffrey wanted us to look at is the use of fear to control behavior in COVID crisis was totalitarian, admits scientists.
Yes.
That article.
Scientists do not equal good people.
Yes. Just because you're a scientist does not mean you are good.
It's a case of, if you're, this is why for Warhammer Zeech is, I'm going to do something quite, what's the word, controversial here, and declare which Chaos God is the most evil. And a lot of people are going to be confused, and it makes sense when I explain Zeech. Zeech is the definitively most evil Chaos God in Warhammer. And there is a very specific reason for this. If you say knowledge for the sake of knowledge is what is important, well, why wouldn't you torture someone to learn something that's a secret to them? Well, you want knowledge for the sake of knowledge, right? So you have no moral argument. If it's science for the sake of science, why wouldn't you start, like, as one study did, Doctor, I can't even read the thing, dyslexic annoyance. Could someone read?
Goebbels?
Yeah.
Or...
if everything is just knowledge, for sake of knowledge, and nothing else, there's no moral reason to stop you. Korn doesn't lie to you. He's honourable, and that's a moral good thing. What's it called? Nurgle will actually comfort you when you're dying of cancer, because, you know, he loves like all things that have life, except the individual bacteria cells also have life as well, so he loves them, so it's a case of, ooh, that's kind of a problem. Slanesh would fucking actually comfort you and help you, like, romance somebody. Knowledge is useful, but if it's just knowledge and nothing else and just knowledge, there is no moral reason why you would not commit every war crime and every crime against humanity just for the sake of knowledge. And scientists, there's nothing in the philosophy book of science to stop them, well, yeah, to stop them doing immoral things, because it's just science.
Well, that's exactly what happened in Nazi Germany and unit whatever the nuts it was in Japan. Once you remove morality from it, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, the thing is science and medicine. Well, medicine's kind of it's kind of technical thing. Science is not anti-morality. It's not pro-morality. It's just neutral. So it's a case of you can use science to be moral, and you can use science to be immoral. There's no moral.
You're a bit of a weeb in the nicest way possible, Harry. Have you seen Pumpkin Scissors?
No, I have not seen Pumpkin Scissors because amoral. Yes, thank you, Robert. Essentially, here's the thing. I only watch things that have good quality writing, and I'll check that one out to see if it's actually got good quality writing. I watch things that essentially are not woke. So, for example, this is why a lot of the stuff that I watch is anime, because on the Lotus Eaters, as was established, I think the other day, Thursday or something, Japan not woke, Japan based. So essentially, their media that they produce, they have cringe humor, such as for My Hero Academia, we have the obviously perverted character who contributes nothing to the story, Mineta. What's his character trait? He's a pervert. Okay, that's funny to Japan. It's cringy to me, and I understand why some people don't like weebs as a result. And in a lot of anime, you have the big-titted character who exists just to be the big-titted character. The biggest example of this, well, not literally the biggest, but you know what I mean. The biggest example of this, Bleach, from Orihime from Bleach. What is her character development? It's just she has tits. It's just her cup size, basically.
Yeah, but it's pretty much. She's not even the most interesting human.
No, actually, for anyone who has seen that series, I won't go into detail and explain why her character development is so bad. But like her character development is building and building and building. Like I'm terrible at fighting. I will lose every fight, but I can do this one thing to help the team. So I'll help the team. I'll fix everything, and its character development is building and building and building. The pressure's on, and then at the heat of the moment, her character development, she screams to her crush to save her, and that character development goes. Play a toilet sound effect, please, and essentially that's her character development. It goes down the fucking toilet. But I'm not necessarily a weeb. It's just I could watch Attack on Titan, which doesn't have any of the fucking things I mentioned earlier with these problems. That's a base series, or I could watch woke Marvel comics preaching to me about why I should be judged for being white and told that I'm racist. I could watch My Hero Academia, or I could watch on Netflix Queer Force.
Queer
Like,
Force is awful.
so it's a case, if you see why anime might be the superior choice here.
Well, you would have seen, if you follow it, that the CEO or director of one of the major studios was like, oh, we'll sanitize things for the West, and he got fucking shut on. Like, they absolutely fucking crushed him.
Yeah.
Mm.
But guys, the most based anime I've ever seen. It talks about real world politics right now, but it builds up to where the politics are. Attack on Titan, I'm going to do a political breakdown of it personally, starting first of all places from season 4. And the weird anime tropes that put people off, as mentioned earlier, that even put me off, they don't exist in this series. Watch it. You will enjoy it.
What were we doing? Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Coronavirus.
It's just
No,
Harry,
it's so
you're
good.
a weeb. No, let me explain.
Let me explain how I'm
No,
not a
I'm
weeb by
really
telling you
not.
about the politics of Attack on Titan.
Yes, let me talk to you about anime.
Yeah, but no, I'm essentially explaining. Look, your options are Queer Force or anime. Pick one.
Yeah.
Are you a weeb or are you a degenerate?
You should be watching the Nut Shack, though. The Nut Shack is a masterpiece.
Dear. Okay, I think we're done with Wikipedia. There's nothing else interesting in this article. If I remember to not be an idiot and close all the tabs later, I will put all these links on. Let me bring it up. I will add all these links to the page.
Yeah,
for this
Robert, that's also
podcast.
slightly a problem as well, actually, Robert, agreed. That's another trope that can be an issue, which is why My Hero Academia is a good one.
Yeah, Bleach actually had that problem significantly. I'm like, okay.
Oh no, it is the worst with what's it called, Dragon Ball. I refuse to watch Dragon Ball because it's just my bigger dick, my bigger power level, essentially. That's the entire story now.
Yeah.
Based.
Yeah. So, if I remember to not be an idiot and delete everything, on the sultansofshadilay.com, our sexy website, I will
Silence,
post all
my
the
cock
links.
can only grow so hard.
I will post all the links we've used somewhere on the page. If I remember to not be a boomer.
Okay, I'm liking Robert as I'm reading this, but continue.
Fan of One Punch Man. Nice.
There's an interesting thing. Oh, go on.
No, go for it, because I was just about to
Are you
look at
sure?
some other bullshit. Yeah.
Oh, so recently, a long time ago, I used to watch a YouTube channel called CCTV, which is the Chinese state-funded network. And they used to have a series on it that I can't find at the moment, so it may actually be gone, that was along the lines of something called China and its heroes who strive through poverty and overcome difficulty.
Fuck.
Jesus
And it's
Christ.
basically, right, it's the most propaganda that's insane because it's so malicious that they literally will have a member of the CCP come down to, say, a poor province or desert area and pretend to be hip and cool with the locals as if they actually are helping them. And it's so bullshit that and the thing is, though, the poor people are actually genuinely poor. Like, they just go to random towns all the way out in the Tibetan desert, And it looks so disingenuous that it actually somehow makes Western nations' leaders look decent.
You know what though? You know when you sent the thing to Discord where it's like the montage of food in China. I got to ask one thing because some of them I understand where it's a case of it's a fake egg. It's literally just an egg made of concrete and someone literally put the shell of an egg they already ate over the top of the fucking thing and glued it on so it looks like an actual egg. Like, okay, sure, that makes sense. What the fuck is the thing where he cooks the food thing and then he puts it in black tar? What's that?
I am actually not sure.
Because like, okay, I get it. I get the thing where it's like the meat's going along the conveyor belt and it's injected with like chemicals, hormones, and weird sort of shit. Probably stuff that makes people more compliant as well. I would imagine if you can chemically affect people's brains like that, it wouldn't surprise me. It's China. It's fucking China. Why? It would not surprise me. But the tar thing, I don't get it. I do not get it at all.
The pernicious thing though is with the series actually I can't find because it seems they may have the narrative has changed for their propaganda, so they will literally just wipe out anything they've previously made. So they're
hello.
really very manipulative with the way they control their media, and in China all media has to follow the state corporate running of it. So because of this, almost every single news channel in China is exactly the same, just with different presenters. And the thing is, now they're trying to get influence overseas. Only now has YouTube and Facebook and other Western entities actually put, when CCTV publishes things, this is a state-funded media corporation from China. Even now, Western people, like some Western YouTubers that went after the ADV podcast, they were literally being paid off by the CCTV to just shill for them and go after other Western creators.
Yeah. One thing though, Robert said, "Oh, that's a gutter oil type deal." I have no idea. I don't know what that would do with food. That sounds more disgusting.
Gutter oil, yeah. If you will die from that shit.
So why would they do that with like again? I understand the whole injection thing. I understand like leaving because essentially, oh, if it's fresh, therefore it's good for you. It's like, in some cases, China, but it's a bit more complex than that. For fuck's sake, just because you didn't invent Western germ theory does not mean it's wrong. You autistic idiots. Oh my god.
They're just recycling the waste oil from the sewer. It's
Ugh.
just
Oh
what they
no,
do.
I've read about that. That is honestly disgusting. It's a case of well, we need cooking grease to fry something. So if you have you considered frying it in your own shit?
It's peak capitalism within
Oh!
a communist nation.
Well, it's China's the model that
We can
held-
sell our own shit, and it'll be delicious.
What was the guy with the World Economic Forum? That German guy. I can't remember his name. The guy
Klaus
that
Schwab.
Klaus Schwab.
Adolf.
He's literally using China as his model for his theoretical civilization of the Great Reset. He wants China to be the model.
Where
Yeah.
your social credit score does not permit you to leave the nation, use its public transport services, or own a bank account.
Yes. He
European
also
corporations do not pay cash. If you come up to a company that you want to work for and you say, "Well, I don't own a bank account," they usually assume you're some sort of criminal hiding their financials because no normal person does not have a bank account. You are a pariah if you don't have it.
yes.
So being denied a bank account in Europe is tantamount to putting someone starving in the gutter near death. You are going homeless, guaranteed.
Essentially, yes. The thing is with China, though, as well, with Klaus Schwab, he even explicitly says in his book that he wants to ethnically genocide everyone but Japanese and Chinese people just because they would be better, they're more obedient for society.
You know what, actually,
Go on.
this reminds me because it's a case of like someone explained once that with the way politics are going, we'll eventually get to the one world government, and because the one world government on the timescale of infinity is inevitable, therefore it's a good thing. And it's a case of the best way I can describe to anyone who ever meets anyone who says, we should try and make the one world government or the one world dictatorship faster because it's inevitable to happen, is why the fuck haven't you killed yourself then? Because you're inevitably going to die. If inevitability means it's a good thing, why haven't you shot yourself in the head? Oh wait, because sometimes bad things happen that are inevitable? Yeah, fuck you. No, this is not a good thing. Sorry.
Nice.
True. I mean, as well though, a lot of people deny like the whole New World Order stuff. It's not happening and it will never work. Yeah, it will never work, but they're gonna try either way. These people genuinely believe that they are the saviors of all humankind because they have all the money, power, and technology. They do not care about your opinion. They will try to rule you.
There has been a shift in the mentality of Western Europeans where, due to the last period between the end of the Second World War and now, there has been such a prosperous, peaceful period that the Western Europeans deem themselves untouchable by these matters. Their morality has exceeded the part where they could even be authoritarian. They have blinders on so thick that they don't see that they're making the return back to Nazism.
Yes. It's genuinely demented that it's also as well in the West for a long time. Elites and higher ups haven't actually been put under moral social pressure to follow and adhere to certain rules. And it's not like in today's society that the average man can go after the elite, because to take somebody to court costs far too much. And that's even if you win the court case, will you get anything in return for compensation?
Well,
I mean, the
fines
thing
never
I hate
work
with
out,
court
even if
cases
they
is
settle.
it's a case of whoever has the most expensive lawyer more or less wins the case. It's a case of okay, so basically now no one can actually if a fucking company does something like loopholes and does something shady and something that should be illegal, you can't actually get them punished because they have more money than you. Therefore, fuck you.
Well,
Okay, so why don't we have a thing where it's a case of each side can only essentially the poorest person has the set amount of money, kind of thing, sort of thing, and then the richer side can only afford a lawyer for the same amount. Otherwise, you're effectively cheating, which you are. Let's be honest here.
Well, it's not just that, but a lot of people, like judges who work in courts, have been known to be biased, as well as the fact that to actually even begin a lawsuit case on somebody costs too much. Like, I can't remember who suggested it, but it should just be lowered to the average man can lever enough power against elites to actually have one over on him.
Yeah.
the problem is that even if you fine them, it's usually an amount like even if you settle out of court and you get your 200 grand from it, it doesn't hurt this company. Not in the way that,
Oh,
for
yeah.
instance, the new rulings in Poland, where if one of their political figures is banned on Twitter, Twitter is fined $250,000 a day, compounding every day afterwards for every single politician that is banned from Twitter, at least the Polish politicians. So imagine if Twitter goes ahead and bans 5 of them. That's 5 times $250,000 a day. This is going to actually start hurting these companies. And it
Yes.
might actually change. Like these fines need to be astronomical to have an impact on these companies, because companies will usually have a budget for being sued, something they keep in reserve just to absorb all the slap suits they get over the year.
As well, like it should be made, especially when, say, media corporations do slander against opponents, like be them right wing or not communist. That, like, say with Dankula getting misrepresented in media a lot, and Carl Benjamin's interview with Sky, they should have just been able to, for like absolutely no money, just say, "Hang on, you're oppressing the average man, so therefore we get to take you to government court and screw you over," which should have been the case. But instead, these companies are near untouchable.
Yeah, it's a little bit of annoying.
We need to have the means of keeping them in check in place, because you're just going to go towards like rampant mega corporationism, where it's just going to be a dystopic future of these companies employing 500 million people. and they can dictate law wherever they desire. This is not the future you want. The global galactic dominance of Walmart.
The thing is it's a case of if you have the opinion that there's nothing that can be done, it's inevitable that it will happen, then you're not going to put up a resistance to it. Therefore, it will, because you don't fight it. And if you have the money to influence these things, and you say it's inevitable, it's going to happen, therefore I'll make it happen. It'll actually push the thing into being in reality. However, if you have the opinion it will happen if I do nothing, it's a case of then you can actually stop the dystopia because you're refusing to allow it. It's like what's the saying goes? Evil prevails when good men do nothing, or something like that.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, this is why I'm going to have to say the Magna Carta is probably the most important document of all time, because it was the whole idea of actually holding powerful people to account under the same legal system. Like, that's why it was so important that the king actually had to answer to his people. So did the nobles. That was the most important thing that over the last 20 or so years or more we've lost.
Well, we've determined the neglectful spirit of this company still holding the Magna Carta for display by breaking its own tenets, charging admission to see a document that disallows the charging of admission to see a legal document.
Yeah, I went to go see it, and they tried charging me to go in, but I was like, "Hang on, I'm a Christian. This is a cathedral. Let me in." And they were just like, "Oh, okay then."
Well, that's kind of touches on one of the things, like on the the darkest day in American history, the 6th of January. The citizens of America entered the seat of the government. A public building owned by the citizens.
Blacked out helicopters landing, teams with automatic rifles on rooftops, inserting themselves in the Capitol building, assassinating senators left, right, and center. No, it was actually just a bunch of people walking in, taking a couple photos, sitting in the hot seat in the Senate floor, and then going back home and having a barbecue with family.
Yep, like
great. It's funny to think about when you think just how much
at the
these
most
people are. That's how
half
their
these
reaction to it.
people should have been charged with is a little bit of maybe
trespassing.
No, the trespassing is bullshit. It's a government building.
Yes, you can't.
And then you see the videos of the people opening the doors for them. It's like, hang on a minute.
Well, if it's like it was evacuated, so it would be impeding in the service of rescue units, or like impeding police work, so you could be charged for that.
Yeah, I suppose, but the part where they go, it was an insurrection. I'm sorry, how many politicians died? How many politicians died? And AOC doesn't count.
Why people get shot?
Oh, may I just say, so in general, I just noticed this. Yeah, with the Klaus Schwab stuff, I'm gonna say I don't know if it was true or not. It was just something that I saw that looked very genuine. Because Klaus Schwab has a fucking maniac mind. He will come up with shit like this. Yeah. Whether he writes it down or not, he still probably believes it.
A student of history says the darkest day when people went into the people's house and walked within the velvet ropes and borrowed Nancy's lactate. They walked in the ropes. The cops opened the doors and these people walked in the ropes.
It was like a class trip to a museum.
Yeah,
go around.
It was almost literally a guided tour.
Imagine some kid with one of those spinning helicopter hats, and he just points at Nancy Pelosi's computer. It's like, oh look, child porn.
Obviously, the biggest threat that day was the theft of some shoes.
Yeah.
There was some books as well.
PTSD that followed.
Well, that's okay. Look, that's okay as long as it was worth less than $1,000. You can't charge him with it. So says California.
I was in fear of my life when my shoes were stolen from my office.
She wasn't even in like the same building, and she was still shitting herself.
Oh, it was
Have you
like,
heard about how those
it was
people are
her
being
moment.
tortured in
It
prison
was
as
her-
well? By the way,
It was your Hillary moment
Yes.
of we landed at the airport under sniper fire.
fucking
shows
hell,
video-
Hillary.
Shows a video of child giving bundle of flowers to Hillary. Yeah, real sniper fire.
What gets me about when they opened the doors is people like defending and going like, oh, they had to do it because they might have battered the doors down. I'm sorry, but what happened
the
to
old
Ashley
fucking
Babbitt?
grandma.
What happened to Babbitt when she was shaking her finger and yelling at them through a window? They fucking shot her.
Oh. Did you see when Alex? Oh, sorry, go on.
Your argument of they didn't want to cause conflict is fucking bullshit. They murdered a woman.
Did you see the bit where Alex Jones was outside? He's like,
Don't go in. They're gonna get you. They're members of the FBI and the CIA. They're after you. Don't go in.
He's right on every fucking
I know.
occasion.
Yeah.
I swear he's got a double agent like in the FBI. He has to.
yeah.
All right, so I'll bring up a very uncomfortable subject. The 30,000 rounds that were spent
Yes.
in the Las Vegas shooting.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this. It's really interesting how just suddenly there's multiple guns, and from accounts that there's hearings of multiple shooters.
30,000 rounds from a bump stock magazine.
Can't be
with
done.
Magazines, even if you go for the really expensive Surefire ones that hold like 60 rounds, those are like $250 a magazine, and you still need so many of them to make 30,000. But you could easily have 2 insurgent teams running light machine guns, M240s, with 1,000-round belts.
Yeah, hold on.
We're talking about the Las Vegas shooting.
The one from the hotel a couple of years back. That one.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
same one.
So let's see, 30,000. Now let's. I'm going to give super credence and say he got those stupid double drum magazines with 100 rounds. So 300 of them.
100-round beta mags that will set you back roughly $300 to $500 per box.
Well, hey, the
magazine.
FBI's got a big budget.
Indeed, they do. They also have access to select fire weapons, which don't suffer the issues of the absolute mechanical limitation of either having a binary trigger or a bump stock. There is a mechanical limit to how fast the gun can cycle.
So, guys, are we going through
You cut
conspiracy
out.
facts now? Or
Oh,
soon to
yes.
be conspiracy facts?
Oh, yeah.
Exposed in 2005.
Speaking of
Before we
bump
do, I think I have
stocks-
I think I can tell you the best story of essentially just
Sorry,
it's essentially went to
before you do,
yeah.
Harry, just before you do,
Yeah.
while we're on bump stocks, have
yeah.
any of you guys heard of Jay Mikulek?
No.
can't say I have off
no.
the top of my head. If I
The,
have, it'll come to me in a
sports
minute.
shooter for
Yes.
Hornady.
Yes, that guy. But he's got a video where he tried to bump stock. When he was using the bump stock, he was shooting slower.
It's because he has a trigger finger set for 6-round bursts during free gun competitions.
Yes, but this guy has got a trigger finger set for fucking, I don't know, masturbating off 16 women in 5 minutes.
Lads, I'm telling you now, just letting you know ahead of time, and also women as well. It's a case of I said this from when I was fooling around a couple of years back. Circles. All you need to know is circles. Thank me later.
Run like a headless chicken to avoid losing your own head through a bullet.
I remember, Alex Jones did like a whole thing with Michael Malice on the what was it, Las Vegas thing.
The brother of the shooter said it was very unlike him to suddenly have turned to that sort of action, and then within days the brother was lifted by the feds, and they happened to find 4 terabytes of child pornography on his home drive, even though the guy was running a computer with Windows 95.
Right, as if he's gonna have
Yeah,
that.
no, fuck
Out
off.
of the blue, he was running Windows 95 Internet Explorer with 4 terabytes of child porn conveniently there for the Fed boys to find. And
What
FBI. God
what
damn it.
what gets me, Solomon, is let's pretend that he did have 4 terabytes of child porn. Okay, so clearly someone who has 4 terabytes of child porn is computer savvy enough to get 4 terabytes of child porn. They're also capable of doing basic fucking Google searches. How do I stop the FBI from getting access to my hard drive? Okay, download VeraCrypt, run. Cool.
get yourself a NAS.
And
Run
then
your own server.
yeah, and then I take my Fifth Amendment right to not provide the passcode, and the FBI can go fuck themselves.
The
Like-
chances for FBI following the law is extremely unlikely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
no, I'm
alphabet
sorry, but
agencies
they'll try
are
to
free.
beat it and torture it out of you.
yeah, probably. But at least you have the right to pretend. At least you get to pretend that they have to follow the rules. Like in Australia, they can compel you to hand over your passcodes.
Damn.
So, out of all
Okay.
this conspiracy theory, can we infer anything from
Sorry,
the
55.
total equation? Why would the government sponsor FBI agents or whatever people in the black coming in with machine gun fire, lighting up this crowd in Las Vegas? What political maneuver did this eventually facilitate?
Wasn't well? One,
You're
it was a
gonna have to
Well,
remind
it
me what
facilitates more
year
gun
it
control.
was.
It
Well,
was
that
well. There's
too.
multiple things. So there's one idea that it was
Kind
to
of
after Trump, and also it was I swear there was some Saudi diplomats there that got involved, and it was to pressure Trump to pressure on the Saudis from causing later conflicts. I've heard.
Wasn't
Okay,
it blamed on Trump for a while by
they
some
try-
of the news?
they blamed
Well,
Trump for everything for
yeah.
the past
Dude,
6 years.
Dude, it's American media. Everything was and always will be, for the end of time, Trump's fault. The
Yeah, well,
descendants
true.
of everyone will inherit Trump's guilt. Don't you understand?
Ah, shit. He's the one.
We predicted it yesterday with the whole every
Okay,
variant. of
I just
COVID
wonder.
needs its own
I'm pretty
booster.
sure.
At some point, people are just going to say, "What? Do you only have 9 boosters? What are you, a Trump supporter? I'm on my 14th booster."
Doesn't
I'm still
fucking
gonna wear
work.
the
It's
mask
not
so
been
people don't think
tested
I'm a
properly.
Republican.
But
Fuck the vaccine. I'm not taking it.
No, I'm not taking it either. I'm not taking it because it's a case of like my granddad
years
was
old at
more
least.
sick when he took
I
it.
think it's going to happen at the 3rd booster. You're going to have the same movement of people that were like, "No, we don't need to double mask. We triple masks," and then you have people coming out of the woodwork. Well, Fauci said wearing 5 mask layers is better than 4. And then they're just gonna
Fauci.
up the ante and up the ante.
Speaking of the great cunt,
So
when
it's
is
gonna
he
be
gonna
like,
get
well,
arrested?
you have your 3rd
Probably never.
Immediately, hopefully.
No, he'll be Epsteined, and he'll still be alive, but he'll be smuggled away.
But what, to Epstein's private island where he can hang out with Epstein?
No, Epstein lives in Israel, right? He's been seen on satellite footage.
The
Hold on.
thing though with the
Oh, that-
FBI thing,
Has anyone
if anyone
actu-
wants,
Sorry,
Go on.
Harry. Has anyone actually
no,
been to Epstein's island? Because if we go
Little
there,
strange
will we
thing.
find Epstein and McAfee having themselves a kid?
Clinton was a big fan of that island, I hear.
See, it's
Yes.
an island. You can actually go there. They can't have a permanent military disposition guarding his little St. James. If you went with like a bunch of friends and you get yourself a rib, good old Zodiac with a bunch of horsepower, you get out there, you do some urban exploring, live stream that shit.
That would be pretty based.
Well, also,
Any takers?
We just need like 4 or 5 Polish dudes that do this shit professionally. Instagram urban
So
explorers.
what? Luke
Yeah.
Rudkowski?
You thought Chernobyl was lit? Wait until you see where we went this week.
I do have one thing though, right? So you know the whole Las
Man,
Vegas
honestly,
thing.
leave it to the polls to do the good shit. Leave it to the polls to do the good shit.
It's weird. As soon as the Las Vegas shooting happens, like they have like 1 day or 2 days where they're like, "Oh, this was so bad," and then instantly after, it's just shoved under the rug. Nobody ever talks about it again.
Exactly.
That's what's so suspicious about it.
Comes out of nowhere. A whole bunch of shit happens. There's a lot of avatars changing on Facebook. A lot of flag
Mm.
overlays and that sort of stuff.
You know what to me
Disappear
is the
fast.
most
Nothing
fucked
ever
up thing
happens.
I've seen with an abuse of power. And I know that it went to court, and legally it's a case of did nothing wrong. It's like, no, fuck off. I forget the details, but it was in a state in the U.S. where it's illegal to carry guns, and this guy was an exterminator and had a pellet gun for shooting squirrels specifically. You know, because it's his fucking job, and he had to lean out of a hotel window to do it because of the awkward position. Now, what ended up happening is someone saw this and called the police on him, and there was this guy who had engraved on his fucking gun, "You're fucked," and it would only show when it would essentially be emptying a chamber as it was firing. So essentially, only when he's killing someone does it show "You're fucked." And the there's everyone in the team on the body camera footage is really calm. They're being nice. It's a case of, okay, we'll just be calm about this and do everything. And the guy who's camera footage to the killer, he's just a case of they opened the door to the hotel. Clear, 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 clear. Everything's clear. I've got it under control. It's a case of, right, calm the fuck down there, you retard. Okay, first off, because you know from what I've already said so far, this doesn't end well. But it's just the build up to it. So they get a lift, or as the dirty Americans, the uncivilized barbaric savages who drink mud. The savages would call it an escalator, an elevator rather. The lift door opens. Savages. The lift door opens, and as it opens, he's pointing his gun inside. Again, remember, all the other people are nice and calm. He's like, clear. The elevator is clear. It's like, dude, it's a fucking elevator. It's just like this is not going well. So they get to the building where this gun was reported to have been seen out a hotel window after the guy's done his job, and essentially it's like this man and this woman both respectively come out of their hotel rooms, and so essentially they both order them to the police. This guy who's been really aggressive orders them to freeze, lets the woman walk off. Guy. He says, okay, freeze, get on the floor, essentially crawl. Oh, your pants are falling down. No, freeze. You're not allowed to pick them up, kind of thing. It's a case of, he says, freeze, crawl, freeze, crawl, freeze, crawl. It's a case of, look, this is conflicting orders right there, and so it's going to confuse someone.
Yes,
and rather than just give them the time to calm down, it's just more shouting, more angry, more angry. Fuck you, my dick is bigger because I've got a gun that says you're fucked written on it, which the mentality of that right there makes this even more suspicious. I'm just going to say it. And it's a case of, I have seen people essentially explain, with police training, well, if he was a shooter, kind of thing, you can't essentially just tell him to go on the ground and then essentially put his hands behind his back and handcuff him, because what if there actually was a shooter there? Well, it's a case of, yes, but actually allow someone to cooperate rather than give them conflicting orders. And then, of course, because being given conflicted orders, being constantly told, we will shoot you if you make up one more fucking mistake, eat just one and you will be shot. And these conflicted orders, such as freeze, now crawl, kind of thing. He fucked up one time, and his actual shorts were coming down towards his knees because he was having to crawl. And essentially, because he tried to stop them, because this is obviously already a humiliating situation, and he's crying, begging for his life. He tries to stop them falling down, and he then gets completely just obliterated and shot to fucking hell.
Yeah.
And it's a case of, I get the argument. He's reaching to his waist to stop them falling down, but a man, people don't cry and beg to not be murdered while trying to pull a knife on you or a gun. I'm sorry, no.
I mean, they have. I've seen videos of it, but in this case, clearly fucking not what was happening.
Yeah, you get what I mean. And then it's a case of, because he said on the body camera footage in court, which is why I say it's a really big abuse of power, and I don't like it. Sometimes there are people who have arguments when it comes to police abuse their power in America. Yeah, but don't defund them, you idiot, because it's a case of, as said earlier, there isn't the one size fits all solution to every problem. Give them better training, kind of thing.
Better training.
Yeah, he
They
was
need
not
better
trying
training.
to kill people.
Yeah. Also, pro tip: don't do something stupid like put your fucked on your gun. Like he should have been, regardless of
Yeah.
whether he shot the guy or not. He should have
Was
been
it-
fucking
okay.
fired and
And it only
for
shows
that.
if anyone remembers the story. It only shows while it's shooting, so it's a case
Yeah,
of
I
okay, what-
recall. It's one of the branded dust covers. And your
Oh
dust
god,
is
we're
on
covering the story
inside.
right now, gents. It would seem.
What?
What?
Well,
Like go on the actual live
Oh,
stream. Can you not
this.
see this?
Yeah, I see it.
But what's it called? They on courts. He was, if I remember correctly, it'll probably be in the document. But I'm just trying to exercise my memory and let him to be like, I'm not too forgetful. He was told, oh well, I'm sorry, but we can't do anything about this because he did say to your husband, he said if you disobeyed another direct order again, we'll shoot you, and he disobeyed, so we shot him. So
Yeah.
Well, I
Go
mean,
eat
the
a
article
dick,
is
bitch.
4 years old. This happened a while ago.
I know. I just remembered it right now because it's a case of all
Yeah.
these suspicious things with the US. It's like, okay, I've got a story to tell you guys. This is the worst abuse I've seen.
yeah, like this is one of the few legitimate, probably unlawful shootings of an unarmed man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, he was white, so it clearly isn't racist. And sadly, the first article I found was the ACLU, the American Communist League of United.
Sadly.
I've
And-
got an unpopular opinion on all these little incidents whenever they happen.
Go on.
It's a bit tinfoilery, so we'll have to get back to like the subject of
Oh, trust me, I'm worse.
what the government
Say it in the
learned-
Alex Jones voice.
what the government learned from Project MK Ultra and hypnotic suggestions, where they can make unknowing citizens that through hypnotic suggestion on a keyword can cause one of these public events, a shooting, a mass murder, whatever. On the fly, as political needs suffice, these sleeper agents are woken up and activated, and then they shoot up a school.
I mean, the
it's
thing
all
is,
through
even if they
drugs.
didn't do that, they would have at least have tried doing that.
Yeah.
It's the US government. They're really fucked up.
It's
course
always
they do.
so conveniently timed to hide a political matter from happening.
Yeah. I Like Boobies says Michael Malice had the wife on his podcast not too long ago.
Oh, nice. I need to check that out.
Oh,
Add it to the list.
Michael Malice is actually kind of taking the internet by storm. It's quite fun.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
cool.
like Michael Malice.
He's
I mean, I didn't
become
know
the
about him for a
inevitable
while.
conclusion of the death of libertarianism. He's the only option to really go for. He is what libertarianism used to be. Now the end caps are just dying. It's never going to happen. Nobody wants a meritocracy.
Ancapistan is just as stupid as communism.
actually, by the way, I think I know the reason why he didn't essentially give conflicting orders to the woman like he did to the guy he shot. It's because women more sympathetic, so essentially people would be more. Well, no, but I think
Bitch is too stupid to understand my commands.
Well, no. What I mean is the case of you shot a woman. We need to judge you more harshly in the in this trial kind of thing. But well, honestly, look at the suicide rate of men. Society does not care, kind of situation.
I guess.
It's just something we're really good at. Women do it more often, but we're better at it.
You need to. Women, if you're listening to this, you're shit at dying.
At least in the kitchen, they can cut themselves with knives.
Oh yeah. You wanna do it properly? Get in the fucking kitchen.
Spiced.
Uh,
To
these are
quote our
jokes.
favorite Australian.
God, this is an awful fucking article. The
Yeah.
ACLU are trash.
Oh right, yeah.
Like
that's-
half the article is whining, oh, it was racist, but he was white. Oh, but if he'd been black, they would have shot him. And then anyway, just straight up.
So isn't it the
fucking-
ACLU? Whenever I see anything about them, I'm just sitting there thinking, it's like
They can't
like
stop
the
thinking about
Runnymede-
race, I swear.
like the Runnymede Trust, but
Uh,
worse.
Yeah.
Clones of each other. The Runnymede Trust. Let's talk about things that don't concern us. Let's talk about the issues of Pakistan and Israel. What?
How about no?
I'm worried about our rural shires having
Yeah.
discrepancies. Like, we got to fix the roads. We got to add more greens. We got to promote independence and farmers, get them back in here, start making these lands more profitable.
mm,
Yeah.
that's messed up.
Well, how about we go back onto the last bit of the Lotus Eaters?
Sure.
But
Oh yeah,
just-
sure.
So, the logo for the Sultans of Shadilay is a frog-like fella who is inspired by a certain internet meme.
Yes.
Who is it inspired by, Trim? Say his
What
name.
was it again?
Man.
Pappy, of course.
Oh, you're talking about the guy. You're talking about the guy who I replaced with the Pepe.
Yes, but it's
Yes.
the rarest of them all.
Yes, so because our logo is Peppy, that means we're all far right, according to... we're all far right terrorists, according to the EU. So, Trim,
Oh.
start running.
I'll own that remark.
I'm
and
in
say,
Norway. They
"Thanks for
can't get
noticing."
me anyway.
Oh, they did invade you at one point.
Yeah,
King
fuck them.
Germans.
Does it really matter at this point anymore
Although
in
you did knock out
society? Somebody
Lucia.
calls you out, you are a racist. Like, have we not reached the point where it's like, oh, thanks for noticing?
You know, I'm just gonna do this. If anyone calls me racist, I'm just gonna look them dead in the eye and say, "Yes!" Against seagulls, which I've done
Finally,
several
some
times.
compliments.
So, here you go, Trim. These are examples of far right
Feels good.
terrorists.
Feels good,
You
man.
fucking-
It is so retarded. I'm sorry, but it is.
Who came
The
up with this?
Bojack is being used too effectively. We've
Oh god,
resembled this remark.
We've
Get rid
played
of
them
it.
so hard.
where's Minecraft? Where is
Right.
Minecraft? It has to be
I'm
No, this
waiting.
isn't
I'm
real,
waiting
it's
for the
not
part in the
Minecraft this
future.
time.
I'm just gonna make a prediction, chat. I'm gonna make a prediction. I want you to tell me if you think I'm right or if you think I'm wrong. In the future, they're gonna say, "But we were just pretending to be this stupid."
They will try though.
We're just following orders.
Yeah.
You know what?
I
Actually,
do not
I
believe it.
really hate the following orders thing because it's a case of depending on essentially the country and the authoritarianism, the nature of the thing. Not following orders can essentially mean just getting fired. Not following orders can mean your entire
Go on.
family being shot and you being shot. So effectively, when you say, but not following orders is not a valid excuse, you're saying you should have just committed suicide. It's like, that's not fair, given certain
Yeah.
things in history. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
It's a case of if someone doesn't actually have, like, they're coerced into this, what are you meant to do? They were meant to disobey orders. Well, no, that means they get shot, you moron. Fuck
Jordan
you.
B. Peterson makes a very good point of this. Like, who would you be if you lived in Germany at that time? Like, would you have the mental fortitude to not become the thing you hate the most?
I mean, it literally means when you're told by the government, do X, you would have to disobey. So the fact of the matter is, we've seen right now, with the whole pandemic, mask, and like, social distancing, we've fucking seen who would obey and wouldn't question it.
The martyr's death.
And
It's-
it's a lot of people.
Become a cog or suffer the martyr's death.
And then it's a case of oh, Harry, you're a right wing bigot Nazi, blah 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 blah. It's a case of, bitch, I'm the one who's not obeying the state.
I'm a what?
You would actually be the idiot who sends them to the fucking gas chambers. I'm the one who's disobeying the state.
Yeah. Right, so I just wanted to read to you guys what the EU has to say about the Wojak. It has gradually been adapted and advanced by far-right meme culture to portray liberals with blank expressions. The aim here is to show that normies, in quotes, Do not question the information that comes from mainstream press and politics.
They
Yes,
fucking
EU,
don't.
you're the Wojak. You're
It's a
the...
sin. But it's a sin to oppose the vision of the mainstream press and the government. That,
Oh
like,
my god.
Corporate, not mainstream.
The retard finally said something that isn't wrong. It finally said 2 + 2 = 4. Oh my god, it took them this long.
The thing is, like, the press, they don't realize nobody's on their side anymore, but they're just clinging on to the dream that the few viewers that they have are actually a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, before the show, me and Anglo Jones
Oh,
looked
boy.
into the issue of some of these memes, where we recently found out that the FBI now finally understands the use.
Yes, chat, it's not as extreme, but the point stands.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm going to have to demonstrate that that's not actually true. The pandemic shenanigans aren't a weak example. Why? I'll fucking show you cunts why.
Well, it depends on your
Australia.
country, but you don't get your entire family doesn't get shot if you refuse to obey.
Give it 6 months. The
Yeah.
military has been deployed to enforce COVID lockdowns.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh,
Oh no!
great!
I still
Fucking-
refuse to obey. When I go missing, this is the reason why I refuse to be a slave.
I will remember you.
Fucking up Iceland.
Anyway, we'll come back to
Oh,
that later.
God.
Oh,
But-
Solomon, what were you saying?
I kind of lost my way. Forgot.
No, you mentioned the FBI caught on to something.
Oh
with
yeah,
the
the
memes.
FBI has finally caught on to Discord users saying something politically spicy and then ending the conversation with the
In
term
Minecraft,
in
yeah.
Minecraft, of course. So
Ah.
the
Trevor, shut
FBI,
up!
the FBI caught up to that fact in 2021. We went back on knowyourmeme.com. This has been a fact since 2018. The
Oh god.
volunteer-run meme website Know Your Meme is now a more valid source of information than the FBI's analytical department.
G-
Of course they are.
Someone who is a fan of Ayanami Rai, and I'm going to take a guess and say that the Japanese characters possibly say Rai, says it's a decent example, but I feel if it was as extreme as people being killed or taken away, you would see a drop off of support. Yeah,
I don't care. Freedom at all costs. I will not cuck to this. If I disappear, this is the reason why.
Yeah, Harry, shut up for a second. Let me finish. Of course, you're correct. It would. But remember, it never starts there. It's a gradual erosion of rights. Hitler didn't just walk into the office one day in 1945 and go, "We're going to gas the Jews." No, he spent a decade slowly changing the culture.
He spent 2 years of that in a choir singing, "We're coming for your family members." It's going to be gradual over time. You're not going to.
No, we're coming for your children.
They're coming for them and coming on them later.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
where
don't
they're
have
gonna
kids,
Find out how many
but...
swings of a wooden
Harry,
sword it
you'll
takes to
know.
castrate someone.
Yeah.
Claymores, maybe.
No, wooden sword. I want them to scream in pain. Wooden sword. How many times do I have to swing it before it castrates them?
Cut that
Not only
penis
is
off
he
with
able
a
to
Using a
spoon.
scalpel's job with a sword that is like the length of a human being, it'll be a lot of fun.
Come on, guys. We have better morals than this. We just need it to be painless and quick.
No.
So you're an
Wait,
advocate,
you serious?
Solomon. So you're an advocate for head first into the wood chipper.
No!
I'm an
Feet
advocate
first,
for-
slowly!
I'm an advocate for having capital punishment within the moral set of not having suffering.
Okay, firing squad it is.
I'd much rather
There's
catch
a
up
bit
on
too
my
There's
friends.
a
nice.
way. There's a way ISIS does it where they, the North Koreans do it as well. They tie you to a 40mm Bofors barrel. They let off a single high explosive shell.
In the 1857 Sepoy Mutiny, they literally got massive proper cannons and they strapped them to it, and the cannonballs just went out of their bellies.
Oh shit! Wait, is that the one where it was a religious war, and the fuckers said,
Sort
as long
of.
as my body's intact, I'll go to heaven. So they said, in that case, you can't go to heaven if you're in pieces, can you?
I'll send a link to it on.
I mean, they're not wrong though. But damn it, it's a dick move.
I'll put it in channel. It was like I had to learn this in A-level history. The punishment for the survivors was they got strapped to cannons and had to lick pork blood off walls.
No, not the one I was thinking of then.
Nah. It was pretty brutal.
Oh yeah. Look, all I'm saying is when ISIS returns, because Joe Biden, we should lace every bullet with pig fat. So then by their own belief system, they will know they'll never go to heaven.
And it's a war crime, unfortunately.
What?
No,
Oh,
no. I'm gonna take the.
Aaron Yeager.
I wasn't even gonna say it because I just realized people make the joke.
Yeah.
Harry is pure weeb, but I mean, it's a case of they started doing war crimes before us. They lowered the bar, right? Fuck it, fine then.
No, because of that, even more. Don't. We will
Fine.
still crush them. We will still annihilate them, and we will.
Fine,
I'm sorry.
but we get to
I'm
keep
sorry.
our
You
trench
can't
guns.
hold your hands behind your back when someone's trying to punch you and pull a knife on you. You have to start playing dirty too.
Clown World has ended. We're in Demon World now.
We have
Yes.
guided munitions with like proximity detection, airburst munitions.
Sending enemies to
there's
hell,
not
a
whole
war
lot of
crime.
shit you can do
Yes.
against that. The American military is building battery-powered electric tanks.
Oh god.
Condemning your enemies to hell. Is that a
Hey,
war
student
crime?
history
Yes
has
or
a
no?
point. Most explosives have pig fat in it, so oh shit.
Did you know
Every
that
blown
the-
up.
This is like Constantine.
Does that mean that every single suicide bomber is locking himself
Yes!
out of heaven?
technically, John
commercial-
Constantine is a war criminal by this logic now.
the commercial coffee capsule market contains collagen because it gives a better crema layer on top of the coffee. This is for commercial coffee machines like Nespresso.
I need it to actually just for the memes. I need to get into the UN or something and write legally. Yes, Chad. Yes, like we need to commit war crimes. I need to actually legally have it written as a law, so that I can then break the law when I become a fucking dictator or something ridiculous and stupid. What it'll be is I'll write condemning enemy soldiers by their own religion to hell is a war crime.
No,
And then I'm just gonna have every fucking bullet be coated in pig fat, and every knife is polished with pig fat. So it's a case of, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go to close range. It's knives. Well, it's just, and also as well, the the gloves on their suits has got like a little bit of like a knuckle duster effect to it, I guess, like a padding on the knuckle. Has also got pig fat on it. So even if it's hand-to-hand combat, they go to hell.
How will the Middle East cope? They'll make versions of their own. They'll get like 25 variants of COVID and lace their bullets with that.
Did you see the people in India bathing in cow poo, like when the pandemic first began?
The black fungus
I
spores
thought that was
settling in
normal.
the bottom of their lungs.
Well, yeah, it is, but like they deliberately did it as well.
My favorite one had to be when I think it was in Pakistan or something. They were going to the priest to prove that they essentially the religion will protect them, kind of thing. And it's a case of, sometimes you have to do some of the work for yourself, and God's not just going to essentially just if you shoot yourself in the face, but you pray to God while doing it. Sometimes God's just not going to help you because you're being too stupid. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So anyway, their solution to stop this disease spreading was to lick on these metal ball things on a gate, and effectively all of them just spread it like hell. Now, of course, like low lethality rate, they survived, but it's still a case of that's all disgusting and you know it.
God damn it.
Okay. So, let's talk about something even more depressing, shall we?
Sure. Really?
More depressing than that.
Oh, we're in demon world. Anything can get worse.
But wait, it
Hey,
gets
Mesnick, can you
worse.
say the thing? There we go.
So, let's have a look at what's going on in California. Women prisoners
Oh,
given
not
birth control as transgender men arrive.
What?
What?
Let's solve the issue by not solving it. Like
Yep.
they're just
This
end
is
up
perfect.
taking away
This is
free
so
abortions.
perfect.
Free
Take the
abortions for
female
female
torch.
prisoners. It's just part and parcel
This
of
is
being
awful.
a female in an American prison.
This is awful right here.
Hello, my name is Leslie. Now
Hello, lovely
Right.
women.
Here's how I picture this. All right. What I picture is like all the women are there, like someone just got like essentially shoplifting. They're in prison. Another person. It's a case of I'm in prison for having murdered my boyfriend with a knife or something, and they're all normal fucking women, I guess, right? Okay, and then all of a sudden, they hear. Essentially, I imagine this as a fucking like joke in an anime. So there are these heavy footstep sounds that you hear, and the fucking floor is cracking, and then all of a sudden this person doesn't even walk through the door because he's too thick to go through it, and just breaks through the doorway, and the door frame's completely ruined. And says,
Hungry. Sorry. What's your name?
Jesus fucking Christ!
No. What you'll come in, you'll sound like this. You'll just be like,
Hello, ladies. I have come to have fun in prison.
Yeah. So, the criminal Gavin Newsom signed a bill that allows mentally ill men to be housed in women's prisons. Why? I don't know.
Oh Lord! You know what? Just let him do it. Just let him keep going with it. This is just gonna keep going and going and going until it just reaches that peak
This is
critical
what
mass,
the left
which just
cannot-
causes it all to explode. And I'm so looking forward to it. I give it 5 more years. 5 more years.
The left can never disavow itself ever. They have to come to aid to every single group that asks for a helping hand. This means they have to take a political
Pedos, very
stance in
soon.
defending
Very soon.
pedophiles. They have to defend a whole lot of immoral shit because of their core xenophile
yes.
mindset.
this is why I've said to a friend, every problem can be fixed with gatekeeping, as far as I'm concerned. But if you just say like with the trans people and the nonces and with the gay people, if you say, yeah, but I was born this way, and you never gatekeep, well, what the fuck do you think is going to happen then? Because if they're born attracted to kids, and it's like, okay. And this is why it was a case of it was obvious from the start. Like, I hate the fact that essentially religious people weren't talked to in good faith. It's like, oh, slippery slope's just a logic fallacy. No, it fucking wasn't. And anyone who says that,
the last 7 years have proven the slippery slope thing completely true.
Chat. Here's the thing: if you're listening to this and any of you used to say that it's a slippery slope, Christian, stop being bigoted. I want you to apologize right now, okay? Because this world is what happened when you refuse to take people like me in good faith. Do you feel happy about this? Do you feel happy having said, yeah, but you're just a bigot? No, fuck you. Apologize if you're one of those people. I swear.
I think though our chatting community is probably very base and they've never done that though. I don't think so.
Bejik, can we watch the video I just posted in general? It's a really short one from Mimology 101. They posted it this morning. It's 40 seconds long. It's on subject.
Oh, why am I getting sea life flashbacks?
Oh god, okay. Let's have a look.
Okay, now I'm interested.
Wait, has
Just, watch the whole thing and then comment at the
Yeah,
end.
I just need to change some settings so we can actually listen. Okay.
Harry told you the sea life story.
Here
Let's
we go.
suffer through this.
Let's go.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh no! I'm telling you, these interdimensional vampires have me trust.
God damn it! It's too obvious!
Ah! Every fucking time. Every fucking time.
Why?
I can't even deal with this shit anymore.
Every single day.
Get in the word, should be retards.
Whatever. Anglo, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Student history. He made
Fucking bollocks.
let's
what
see.
does he
Literally
say?
just walks in. Sniff. Alex Jones demon voice. You smell pretty. Can you like do that?
Wait, so Alex, Demos.
Oh, you smell pretty.
Oh, damn it.
I'm telling you, Hillary, she rapes kids. I've smelled her vagina. It smells like sulfur.
They're
Yeah.
bugs too.
Hillary Clinton's cunt, the gateway to hell, confirmed.
Alright.
Oh my god, I fell down there and I saw some weird shit.
Okay, so, but getting back on the disgusting topic, I just want to read part of the article. Women incarcerated in California's largest women's prison are describing the conditions as a nightmare's worst nightmare after the introduction of new pregnancy resources. The new resources are a tacit admission by officials that women should expect to be raped when housed in a prison with men, where all sex is considered non-consensual by default within the system.
Oh.
Oh.
Fucking
What?
hell.
Well, if they don't accept it, they are bigots. And
Mm.
you know what's worse than being
No,
a prisoner and a
sometimes-
criminal?
Sometimes bigotry is correct.
Well, no, it's worse. What's worse than a prisoner who's committed a crime? A prisoner who's a bigot.
Don't.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, no.
They get an extended sentence if they say no.
How
The worst
dare
part is
you
you're
be a
probably
bigot?
right.
How dare you? You've offended me. Now you have 7,000 more years in prison. Yeah, well, fucking.
You're condemned to hell.
So-
We're going to have to shove you up Hillary Clinton's badge.
No. Well, actually, the pedos deserve it. Never mind.
Okay.
I endorse this punishment.
What's worse than a pedo getting sent to life, getting raped in that life sentence by a tranny?
Justice.
Right, which is worse? Which is worse? The nonces or the transes?
Nonsense.
Yes.
Nonsense.
Well,
I
no,
endorse
they're not.
this.
They're inseparable.
Oh. Well, you're not wrong,
You
Mo.
can't go around calling them by these names. You got to use the right terminology. 42%ers is a good apt
Of course.
term.
Yeah.
The,
So-
the universe's answer to anything is a balance of 42%, as per Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Therefore, 42% suicide rate, which is not topping the Jewish people escaping from the camps suicide rate just yet, but it's close.
Oh god, that's
Jesus.
a lot.
So
The people that were actually scarred in the last century, that were actually physically and mentally scarred for life.
God damn it.
yeah. Right, so a couple more
Alright.
numbers from this article, guys. In the 6 months since the enactment of the bill, the number of incarcerated people who say they're transgender or non-binary has increased from 1,088 to 1,237, and the nearly 300 pending transfers are only the beginning of the invasion of women's prisons by violent male inmates, including convicted murderers and rapists.
Wow.
At least put the trannies with the the homicidal, the evil chicks. At least have some justice in it.
Also, the case rate went up by 20%. When was this posted? What was the date? Can we project something further into the future with this?
I mean, what kind of projections are you after? Because, if you ask a lefty that, you'll get a whole different kind of
The
projection.
change from 1,000 to 1,200 was since January of this year. Don't know which year this was written in.
This is literally an article from a week ago.
This week. Okay.
This week.
I swear the next time we do this, I'm going to deliberately get as drunk as possible. Just
It'll be the media normalizing it by making it very popular. They're going to talk about it in a very positive light, and that the news is very vibrant, and it's going to incentivize more people to follow the media's example of being a cool kid and being a man, calling yourself a woman, and then going to a female prison. They're just
You know
gonna
what?
keep it
These people have been given far too many participation awards. I'm gonna beat these children.
listen, women are so inadequate that now men are better women than women.
Yeah.
Well,
Hasn't
Well,
it been like
I
that for a
wanted to
while,
say
though?
earlier with the whole Olympic thing, once
Ah,
there's
yeah.
a transgender in every category of sport, biological women can kiss goodbye to ever setting a new world record until the end of time.
Which
Because
is
Okay,
why
there's going to be men.
Here's the thing I've
transgender
been wondering.
males,
Here's the thing
males,
I've been
females.
wondering. When it comes to trannies in sports, right? Why not just make it a separate
division?
thing? Yes, a trans division. You have a female division, a male division, trans division. So
I want to take it further than this.
So all the washed out has-beens who dress in women's clothing and pretend to be women can just play against each other.
Or Trim, the people who take steroids don't get to participate at all.
No. I want to take this position to the most extreme. Okay, because here's the thing.
There we go.
No. You'll love this. Okay, there's the men's division. There's the women's division.
Oh, this.
Yeah, there's. Wait, no. Chat, don't ruin it. Don't spoil it. You can probably work out where I'm going with this. There's the trans men's division, the trans women's division, so they can shut the fuck up. There's no complaints about this, okay? They cannot say I'm being oppressed. There's a division right fucking there. I said chat, come on. Okay, chat knows where I'm going with this. There is the women's steroid division. And then, just so we can see how high humans can really jump, how high, how strong people can really be, how fast humans can really run, the men's steroids division. I'm telling you now, in the fucking boxing of the men's steroid division, people will decapitate each other with punches to the face. Someone will throw a hook, and the head will go clean off, and it will hit the referee, and the head will fucking explode on the referee, killing the referee permanently. It's just in judo. They'll be throwing people into the ground so hard they will break the fucking stage. I can't wait for Warhammer 40,000 Olympics. That's what this is.
I want this now. I want this.
The Master Chief Division. Yes.
So how are they even on this subject? Like, how's the Olympic Committee not discounting people that are transgender conversion using testosterone as a performance-enhancing dope? How is that not considered cheating?
Because it's not aggressive.
Don't you let logic get in the way of being woke.
It'll look like an actual anime fight, yes.
Like the normal biological males that want to compete, they're not allowed to take testosterone shots, but these transgenders
this
are
is
allowed
the Chad correct way that we should handle the Olympics. You will not deny me this.
I will
future,
agree.
We will have the steroid division.
I want this to happen. I need this to happen now.
I mean, that's all among the wishful thinking. Like, let's put the cocaine back into the Coca-Cola. Maybe the old.
Well, actually, someone said it's the Warhammer version, but the thing is, Space Marines, because the whole like genetic implants and all that shit, it makes it so that they can't get hard, aside from the Chaos ones, because Chaos doesn't give a shit. And essentially, steroids kind of just ruins your genitalia. So look, someone's joking, saying we're putting like Space Marines into the fucking Olympics. Yeah, we actually are. That's what this is.
Oh my god. They are.
Yeah, but that's what this is, though.
Oh, I want to see that happen, though.
Yeah, like people, they'll fucking just like someone said, oh, it's like an actual anime fight. No, it will be, because essentially in judo, like there's the joke that you're going to hit someone with the whole planet. You throw them into the fucking stage, and imagine like people forming actual craters and just the body going splat from the impact force.
Or laying like Yamcha to truly show how defeated they are.
Yes.
So what if
Mechanical mod is in the new division. Yeah, let's just actually make Warhammer the
Oh!
Olympics.
Look,
eventually
all I want,
eventually
guys, all I
transgender
want,
actually-
guys, is a real life Blood Bowl. Let
Yes. I wouldn't miss a single fucking match.
It would be like Hunger Games,
I
but way
understood the
better.
weakness of my flesh. It disgusted me. You
Yeah, Hunger
cling to your
Games.
body as if it won't wither and fail you.
Hunger Games without the apple-cheeked, red-haired kids that get just absolutely destroyed
So
by big blonde people.
how long
I love
before
the
the,
comments.
Funniest-
Yeah, this
that's
is the
the funniest
correct way
part
to
of the
handle the
movie.
Olympics.
how long before the transgenders start outperforming the biological males because they're doped up on testosterone?
Yeah,
Well,
they're allowed to have as much as they want.
like
Which is fucked.
we're gonna have women doing better at strength games than men.
well, actually,
by
that's
virtue
that's
of them
a
being
good.
biological males.
Quotation mark, women.
I've actually got an.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that?
The
Inferior.
women start doing
But you
better than
understand,
men.
that's an apparently woman.
It
best
looks
kind of
like a
woman.
troll.
Apparently woman.
This
It
is
looks
what
like a
I imagine
troll.
New Zealanders to look like. No offense to anyone.
So
No, wait,
I'm
wait,
sorry,
wait.
but I fucking love how over the
That's-
top this is.
That's peak woman. Look at it. Peak.
Wait, wait.
woman.
It is.
I have a
You might not
folklore
like
image that looks like that.
Women,
I
get
have
back in
one.
the kitchen and keep working on cooking till you look like this.
Just give me a
Whisking to insanity.
second. I need to find it. It's here
You're
somewhere.
Okay.
glorifying fat culture. This is an unattainable body standard.
This is what happens if you
Look at how
curl
ripped
milk.
she is.
There we go. Come on. Piece of
Where are you sending it?
I am sending it. Where do you want me to send it?
I don't know, just wherever you want.
Let's see. Just
all right,
me-
while Trim, shush for a second. So I wonder when you were talking about the people with testosterone beating the men, what happens if a male athlete says that they are a woman and they want to transition to being a man, and then they get testosterone? What can they do about it?
Well, isn't there a certain amount that is actually like gonna just restrict your health so much? Actually, no, they don't care about health.
If health had
I don't know
anything to do with this, maybe they wouldn't be that fucking fat.
I mean, mentioned as earlier.
Oh,
it is-
Trim.
I'm right.
That's great.
I'm right. Fucking right. Show the
Yeah,
people.
for context, Trim like sent an image to the art wall, and it's a troll, and there's a man trying to kill the troll with a. That's his sword, isn't it?
It's the sword.
So yeah. I lost my track of thought. Never mind.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I find it hilarious. Drink.
It's a masterpiece.
Student in history. Now, that's great. Student in history.
The standards have changed with it.
Women, if you cannot compete, you need to go back to the kitchen. So you look like this when you keep doping on the fucking testosterone.
Oh, Spoon is a really good one.
They're
the ideal woman for
converting from female to alpha female.
Oh god.
Yes, you can
Moth
get
and
more testosterone if you identify as a man.
The
No,
male
That's
athletes
because you're
getting
identified, because it's
emasculated.
not immediately
By the
obvious
way,
'cause you're
guys-
a cuck.
Wait, can I go from normal man to then alpha man by asking them to give
Yes.
me trans man stuff?
Yes, but you'll
Yes.
never be able to have kids
Hmm.
because as mentioned earlier. Essentially, like
Yeah.
you don't want to do that to yourself. Trust me.
New turd.
Well,
But I just
effectively
want to
does.
point this out.
Guys,
Trolls in
do-
Norse mythology are not only covered in branches. Branches grow from them, and they also grow moss like feminists grow body hair.
Oh,
Yeah. Guys, do try not to talk over the top of each other. But
Sorry, it's lag that's fucking me over.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good, guys. But just try and keep it in mind that I can hear you fine, but the guys in chat have a.
Oh, can they not?
Sorry, guys.
It gets a bit difficult for them to tell us all apart, and we are trying to at least pretend to have a quality standard. At least our streams start on time and work.
Carl, Callum, if you ever watch this,
Shots fired. Well,
I
guys.
still want that man test from you, Callum. Considering you don't have a girlfriend.
Well, they better do it.
They did steal our content for a week.
But speaking of which, I'm looking at the time, and I gotta get to work in like 7 hours.
Right.
So it's been fun, guys.
All right,
See you
catch you
around.
later, Trim.
I
Yeah.
assume it's
Good
nighttime
night.
for him.
See ya.
Yeah, sleepy time for the people who work in the middle of the night. Bye.
He's a breakfast chef on board a ship, as far as I've understood.
That is
Yes,
100% correct.
Awesome.
So it's 7 p.m. right now.
Well, I'll tell
Going
you all
to bed
about
is
it
not a
later.
bad idea.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Got to get up in time for that bread to rise.
You see, the whole keto people are coming from, but it's a case of just moderation. Is where I'm at. It's a case of, well, I just eat nothing but bread and I'm fat. Yeah. Because you just eat bread. Oh my god.
It's not just the bread. You get caught up on so many carbs. Like, you can't eat pasta. You can't eat noodles.
You can in moderation. It's like a case of like, you need to actually fill the sandwich. It needs to be something other than just bread. Like, say if the sandwich, the piece of bread is the size of your hand, you can't have the meats just be the palm and the fingers are just, it's all just bread and it's nothing else, just
Wow.
bread.
You could, or no, you can do the ascended British tactic of having toast sandwich, where it's toast with inside of 2 pieces of bread.
I now hate you and I wish to destroy your entire that is disgusting.
That is a thing.
The one problem with the whole anti-carb thing is that works when you have a food budget.
I get it. Oh yeah.
When your food budget is like less, is like $1 or $2 a day, you kind of need your empty carbs, just so you're not ready to go stab someone out of hunger.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a case of there's like healthy and then there's just shit carbs, where it's a case of you can have, say for example, you're low on carbs. Okay, buy that, what's it called, wrap bread, and like just eat some of that for extra carbs that you don't have. And then there's, let me have Coca-Cola. Yeah, one of these is worse than the other, like a lot worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm. Yeah.
Like a panini. No, as in essentially like, Billy, what he means by a toast sandwich is there's your slice of bread, and then there's a slice of toast and a slice of bread.
Yeah, literally. It is literally the description. What the filling is toast. It's demented.
I'm waiting for someone's reaction in chat to that because I
Oh,
feel
fun
like
picture.
there we go.
I don't really care. Like, I'd eat a chapati with vinegar. I don't care. 2 slices of bread, potato fries in the center, get some of that malt vinegar on there.
I'll tell you what though, it's a case of when you're normally healthy, your body eats like stuff. It will vomit and reject stuff that is bad for you and tastes bad to an extent. You get hungry enough. I am fucking telling you, your body will absorb and accept moldy fucking bread.
Yes.
Your body will digest fucking rat and ant poison. You don't understand, like unless you've been that hungry, you think, Harry, there's no way your body could, but no, it can, and it does. It is disgusting for one thing. Because you think, Harry, you literally just described poison. Yeah, I know. It still happened. Still works.
It just reminds me of the South Park episode where Cartman plays Osimo and he hasn't fed in ages, and he gets off the plane and he eats the entire tube of toothpaste he comes across. It's like, yeah, if you're desperate enough, your body will digest toothpaste into useful calories, but Oh god, you gotta be hungry for that.
I was on Duke of Edinburgh once doing like some camping, and I ran out of food like for almost a bit of it because I didn't get the chance to eat my proper breakfast, and it was gone off by then. So I literally just had a whole like satchel of ketchup on bread, and that's it. And man, it felt at the time the best piece of food ever.
Billy is correct. It can cause cancer, but the problem is, Billy, is it's a case of you die instantly, or you risk, or you eat it and you risk dying in like 40 years. What do you think your body's going to do immediately? Your body's going to take the chance of living now and dying in the future, rather than just immediately give up. Yeah, your body it can digest more or less anything, but it is high chance to make you really ill. But it's a case of survival at all cost kind of thing.
Yeah. All right.
Some animals have a really high drive for that, like a wolf will chew off its own leg to escape a trap.
Yeah. So, I am rapidly running out of energy because it is 3 a.m. So, before we call it quits, I just wanted to touch on what's been going on in prison Australia the last couple of days.
Sure.
So, firstly, our dumb piece of scum Prime Minister says that anti-lockdown protests achieve no purpose.
This is objectively wrong.
Yep. But then again,
So you
this is
wouldn't
coming
talk
from
about
the
it.
same government that thinks that they can make protesting illegal.
Same here.
It is...
You fucking what, faggot? Oh wait, we're not allowed to say that word, are we? Sorry.
Well, no, we probably shouldn't. But the generic swear words, yeah, but power words
You
probably not.
what, cunt?
Yes, much better. Yeah, in New South Wales, it is currently illegal to protest. Because that's something that a so-called democracy is in for.
Bloody hell.
So wasn't it someone that reported earlier this week that Australia was acquiring another 85 million dosages of a vaccine? And as far as we looked into this, 25 million citizens of Australia, considering 2 with a booster shot, so that's 50 million dosages. So they're accounting for 35 million dosages being lost to either spoilage or transport issues, or it doesn't get kept at the right temperature, or it just doesn't work at all and they have to discard it anyway. Like, 25 million citizens, 2 boosters, 50 million vaccines. Why do you need a 35 million extra vaccines? Or is it just not about a fucking money scam at this point? Selling
It's a
your
fucking money
premium.
scam. Have you seen that fucking contract?
I have
it
a
basically-
feeling that this is just them spinning that fucking contract. Oh, we'll get all these ones. It's like, no, Pfizer says you'll pay for this many.
No, the thing is though, with that contract, it basically comes down to, please sign here and then we'll proceed to beat you senseless until you lose all of your teeth, tie your hands behind your back, rape your wife in front of you, castrate and feminize your son, also as well then rape all of your daughters, rape your dog before shooting it, and then have a nice day. Goodbye. Please sign here. It's like, no.
It's
Yeah.
extortionary.
Why did anyone sign this?
Because they're
Because they're
desperate to
idiots.
not look incompetent. These governments are desperate to not look incompetent to their voters, because the biggest thing they're afraid of is having been told after the fact that they didn't do enough. Therefore, they're going to take the most extreme stance on that by preempting everything and just being the most extreme. We need everything, every layer of contingency on top of one another. Keep
Yeah.
layering it on, keep stacking it, keep making it really difficult.
Yeah. So this one's not Australia, but I'll just touch on it quickly. So this is from the good old Telegraph. Over half of COVID hospitalizations tested positive after admission. Leaked data suggest vast numbers of classes being hospitalized by the virus when they were admitted with other ailments. No shit, we knew this. But keep that in mind when we get on to the these.
You can
Last
still
article.
get sick even with the vaccine. You can still spread it even with the vaccine. You can still die from it even with the vaccine.
So why get the vaccine?
Soon,
Joe
soon
Biden says otherwise.
enough, Soon enough, the unvaxxed are killing the vaxxed, and
They are going to reach that.
humanize all of them.
Yes,
So, what's the point of the vaccine, you
exactly.
bundle of sticks?
Money,
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 money.
money.
Yeah, they've all
The
been screwed by Pfizer, and now they're just
trillion-dollar
pretending.
scam. COVID is the $1 trillion scam. First, it was the reselling of masks that were shipped back to China from their colonies. All the Chinese people living abroad in Europe shipping the masks back for markup, repackaging, and then they get sold to the West once more. It's a $1 trillion scam. The whole fucking COVID ordeal. There has been such a amount of profit margin made by big companies.
Does anyone actually remember? Because
Who's the
I
dumb
remember
one?
the when the Mac still had the packaging that said this will not protect you from.
Yes.
Does anyone still have one of that? Because I want to post it online one day and say, look, here's the proof that you're just wrong. Like, the packaging might have changed, but this is one of the old ones. And you know it'll get taken down off of Facebook.
It's
but
just a liability disclaimer. They just don't want to get sued.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't put your kid in the microwave. Don't put your hair in the microwave. Don't put your dog in the microwave. We put it on the package to disclaim it.
Yeah.
Don't do this shit. Don't be stupid.
Yeah. So, back in Australia, in the land of the perennially oppressed at this point, the Australian Defence Force will assist with enforcement of Sydney's lockdown following a formal request to Prime Minister scum-sucking bastard from New South Wales Police. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of the signs of descending into fascism is when the military is deployed against the citizens.
Yeah.
I have. It's not much, but I have a bow and arrow. It's not the same as a gun, but I'm not giving it weaponry. That's all I'm saying.
I have a
We
bow and
got-
arrow, but by Queensland law, I cannot say it is a weapon.
Okay, look, anything given the context is a weapon. Like, it's like a balloon can be used
Yes,
as a choke
I
weapon.
know, but legitimately, in the magical fantasy land of Queensland, something becomes a weapon the moment you say it's a weapon. So you can have a sword, and it can be a art piece until you say it's a weapon, and then it magically becomes one.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's,
I really hate legal systems around weapons and martial arts.
Yes.
Some of them are like
They're all bad.
effectively. For anyone who doesn't know, with the United Kingdom, when it comes to martial arts as self-defense as a law, you take one lesson, and legally you have to be as skilled as a martial art master in a fucking 80s martial arts movie, and you're never allowed to accidentally go too far with hurting someone. Bear in mind, 1 minute of your first lesson, and essentially, in other words, it's a case of get fucked if you try to defend yourself. You're not allowed to. You're meant to just sit there and take it. And ironically, that's essentially how it's written.
Being versed in fighting hand to hand is excessive force in all of Europe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is ludicrous. Like, not even Australia's that bad. But one thing that's particularly stupid about Australia's laws, so I'm one of the few Australians that is actually licensed for firearms, so I can possess rifles, shotguns, and handguns. But I cannot possess a crossbow.
What?
Wait, why a crossbow? Exactly?
Because they are weapons. We've lost him.
Oh.
He's dropped off. Yeah.
In the Netherlands, we have laws where people are licensed out with firearms. You go from like 22 bolt actions. Semi-automatics will include upwards to 357 Lapua is the biggest caliber you can get.
Yeah.
And that's all under licenses, but you can get an air rifle in like an Air Force Texan 50 caliber slug gun that runs on CO2, which shoots harder than a 357 Lapua from a rifle at certain ranges. I'll go for a brick wall. It's an air gun.
Yeah.
All legal, no problem. But gunpowder? Woohoo.
So to explain how it is, Australia's got this really stupid thing where bows.
My apologies.
Totally
I am
fine.
back, right? I just
Yes,
kind
you
of
are
crashed for
back.
a second. Okay, good.
We were
Sorry,
just
everyone.
so Australia's got this really stupid idea where a regular bow and arrow, even with a hunting broadhead, not a weapon. Crossbow,
What?
it's a weapon because it has a trigger. And you have
Potential energy
so you have
stored.
to be licensed to have a crossbow, but it's a separate license to your gun license.
It's another thing they can take away from you at an opportune time.
Yes, exactly.
Buy
well,
back your crossbow. I'll give you $40.
yeah. So let's go to back and have a look at some of the restrictions in New South Wales. The penalty for not wearing a mask where required has been raised from $200 to $500. From Friday, residents of 8 local government areas will face tighter rules on exercise, masks, and shopping. Under the toughened rules, exercise, outdoor recreation, and singles bubble visits can only happen within 5 kilometres of a person's home. People cannot leave the 5 kilometre radius for shopping unless the products are not readily accessible in that area, and masks will be mandatory outside the home at all times regardless of proximity to others.
What? That's messed up.
Oh, for fuck! No, fuck off.
You'd
Okay,
you'd think it would be fiction the way it's written, but it's actual reality.
Yeah, that's
how
reads-
do you rebuild
it
a
reads like a
crossbow with a
Philip K.
release?
Dick story.
I've not got the answer to that one. Sorry.
My guess would be that that's some kind of ridiculous crime that puts you in prison for 2 years.
probably.
Because
So in Germany, crossbows are legal, but then they have a big issue about the CO2 bolt gun. It just fires a long arrow from a bristle, and it's CO2 powered, and it holds a stock like an AR-15. So you can put Magpul stuff on their airsoft crap, but they're highly illegal. It does the same as a handbow, but it just runs the CO2 cartridge. The laws are so weird and all over the place.
Thing is, though, I'm reminded of when I was out on what the fuck is the hill called? I forget this big hill in the UK.
Alright.
What it's called? The name's escaping me, but essentially I was there with a coworker from this charity shop, and his daughter, because essentially he brought her along, and we were coming down from the hill, ready to essentially like set off in our 2 respective vehicles and go back home. And there was this pair of old ladies, say 60s or so, and they had masks on, and they were riding on their bikes, and they were not 2 meters apart, which is the funny part of this. And so essentially, like, I jumped down from one part of the hill and landed near them, and they freaked out as if I had just pulled a knife on them and was stabbing at them mid-motion and was just barely out of range of killing them. So I said, "Oh, what's wrong? Is everything okay?" It's like, "Oh, we were worried about you entering our 2 meters." And it's a case of, I know I'm going to sound, unironically, for anyone who's seen certain scenes, they're going to think, Harry, that sounds like Eren Yeager. I just said, "Okay, slaves," and just walked off. And it was just like, oh god, you're so rude. It's a case of, stop acting like slaves. I fucking swear everyone needs to stop acting like them.
yeah. So, I have one last article to
Oh, goody.
show you
More
exact.
cringe.
Yeah. Intrapilly State High School in Brisbane closes after student tests positive for COVID-19. Now notice that is the singular form of the word.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
One person has tested positive for COVID-19 and it's shut down a school of 2,500 students.
Mate, they did that to my college as well.
So how many deaths have within 30 days of testing have actually occurred in Brisbane?
In Brisbane?
Like, how many deaths of the like testing that went on?
Let's
it's,
have a
like,
look.
Within 30 days.
We can actually bring up the COVID stats, so let's do that.
Absolutely
Does
not.
this warrant locking down 25 million people?
No.
No.
Go back to the what's it called, the 610, and the zombie plague thing, and the last ship, as mentioned earlier. I'd be understanding.
So to answer the question of how many people have died within X many days of the test, the answer is 7. And
it's not even lethal. It's just very virulent. So it's
To-
spreading like crazy, but nobody's dying from it.
it's not even spreading
Wow.
like crazy. To clarify that 7, that is 7 since March 2020.
Ooh.
Lock it down. It's not about
Single
squeezing money
digits.
out of you peasants.
Number of cases since March 2020,
Kill me.
1,793.
I feel like the West is becoming the people of Nottingham, and our governments are the sheriff that is
Yep.
getting us for every single coin we have left.
I shall
Also-
be Robin Hood.
So here's the
something, I don't know.
total cases cumulative graph. We hit 1,000 cases on the 16th of April 2020. So that is 793 cases between April 2020 and now.
My God.
It's going to kill the restaurant industry as a concept. It's going to erase it from society.
Oh,
They
yeah.
already are sort of dying.
Well, the thing that I'm worried about as well, from stuff like this, is it's like things are
So,
slowly going back
But wait,
to normal
it gets
in the UK.
worse. It gets worse.
Oh no! Oh no!
So that 1,793 cases, 1,416 of them were required overseas.
All the vaccinated people going on holidays, coming back home, having new variants in their system. They've all been vaccinated. They all had their checks before and after, still registered blank. They get home, they show symptoms, get tested, suddenly they're sick.
So
Trust the vaccine.
in Australia, we have had less. In Queensland, which is the state Brisbane's in, there have been less than 400 cases acquired within Australia.
Right.
It's like this everywhere. It's all people going on holiday, all vaccinated.
And
Yeah.
the vaccine does not work. You know what? I bet you it is just a flask of water.
If
Every
it's
time.
not secret eugenics, and
Well, it
again,
can't be just a
tinfoil
flask of water because you don't
it might just be
drop
just a
stone
money
cold
swindle.
dead from water.
True.
They never needed results. They could have faked it all. It could have just been, we just tell them we can placebo and it'll calm their nerves. They're really not. They don't need to be worried. It's just a flu virus. We live with these things.
Yeah, it's utter
Sell them the
insanity.
placebos at $12 a dosage. Totally not worth it. Like putting all these countries that have massive debt into even more debt. It'll just end Italy, Greece, all these countries that are failing in Europe.
Australia.
They're going to leave.
So, what? In addition to the high school of 2,500 people getting shut down, and I guarantee that everyone's gonna have to go into quarantine. It has also shut down a university campus because 3 staff visited the school where 1 person tested positive.
And now they're flooding the place in alcohol.
Basically.
Man, it's like the Ghostbusters appearing on the scene. Just to
Yes.
rout out a little specter.
Now, wait, it gets dumber. There was one
It's
other
the bottom of the pit.
Yeah, it gets worse though. There was one other case of COVID-19 recorded overnight in hotel quarantine, taking the state's active cases to 43.
God, I feel at this moment, anyone who's read Record of Ragnarok, I'm Kojiro, and I just thought, oh, we've made it to the bottom of this pit. There's finally, and then the chasm in the abyss of the ocean just opens up, and it goes even deeper, and it's like, well, fuck me, it gets worse. I thought we finally reached the bottom.
How many people died this year because they missed the opportunity to meet with their oncologist and they didn't get the chemotherapy that they needed in time?
Well,
unironically,
in
there was something,
Australia,
wrong with my grandma, and she died of cancer because we couldn't get it checked out.
I will make you a bet right now that since March 2020 in Queensland, which is in Australia, which is the what they call the what is it? The gun law ideal of the world. I bet we've had more people murdered with firearms since March 2020 than have died of COVID.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure this is true because someone was shot dead last week.
So who's inevitably making the money right now off of extending your pain?
Yeah, student of history. Essentially, that is
This
us in a
cunt
nutshell.
here.
Is it the government's adhering to the social contract with the biotech companies?
Probably.
Is that just all that's running the show right now?
That's probably a large part of it, but this cunt here wants to keep her job.
We have to fulfill the conditions of the contract. Insert the name of any government in the Western allied nation.
Yeah. But, oh, look. So, ABC is the state broadcast, is the national broadcast, of course. Here's everything we know about Australia's four-phase plan out of the COVID pandemic. Let's find out, shall we? National Cabinet
here we
has
go.
agreed to new vaccination targets which will dictate the easing of restrictions and the reopening of the nation's economy. Phase A. Right. So we're currently in the first phase. Accelerating vaccine rates, closing international borders, early, stringent and short lockdowns if outbreaks occur, preparing a vaccine booster program, thanks cunts, undertaking a further review of the national quarantine network. So what will it take to get to Phase B? 70% of the eligible population will need to have received both doses of a coronavirus vaccine before the nation moves to the next stage of easing restrictions.
My God, that's messed
We
up.
are gonna punish the people that refuse to get vaccinated,
I
making it
still
so
refuse.
difficult for them to live.
Yep. At our current
First,
pace
there'll
of
be
1
social
million...
shaming.
173,123 doses a week, we can expect to reach the 40 million doses needed to fully vaccinate Australia's adult population in mid-January 2020. And that's when we move to Phase B, where lockdowns will become less likely. International arrivals will still be restricted and caps on arrivals will remain. Special rules will apply to Australians who are fully vaccinated at this stage, meaning they will not be subject to some of the restrictions currently imposed on the population. Those special rules include introducing new reduced quarantine arrangements for vaccinated residents, restoring inbound passenger caps at previous levels for unvaccinated returning travellers, and larger caps of vaccinated returning travellers. Phase B will also allow capped entry of student and economic visa holders subject to quarantine arrangements for vaccinated students. Then we can go into Phase C, the vaccine consolidation phase. The next phase of easing will come into force once the nation hits 80% of the population being fully vaccinated. The third phase will see Australia taking a greater step back to normal life by functioning under baseline restrictions, which include highly targeted lockdowns only, no caps on returning vaccinated Australians, lift all restrictions on outbound travel for vaccinated Australians, extend travel bubble for unrestricted travel to new candidate countries, gradual reopening of inward and outward international travel with safe countries, and proportionate quarantine and reduced requirements for fully vaccinated inbound travels. And then...
And at any point in time, they can just be like, no, we changed our mind. It's different now. It's even worse.
And then we can get into Phase D, the final post-vaccination phase.
Violence! I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
Return to normal.
The fourth and final phase, the government's four-step plan sees things as normal as possible. Yeah, the new normal. No new normal on Reddit, folks. Check it out.
Guys, I want you to go on the general thing, and you'll see exactly how this feels right now.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that is how this feels.
Right, so, Australia will seek to treat COVID-19 like any other infectious disease, liars, with the goal to minimise cases without ongoing restrictions or lockdowns, liars. Some restrictions will continue to remain in place, including quarantine for high-risk inbound travellers, boosters as necessary. Mr. Morrison said he didn't put a timeline on these phases because the timelines are now in the hands of all Australians together with state and territory governments and the federal government. We get there when we get there. I hope we get there as soon as we can.
They're gonna hold you responsible, and they're gonna use every crutch, every minor slip up. You're gonna be like, look, we didn't go far enough.
Yep. But wait, it gets worse.
Okay, genuinely, the thing I'm sending you is literally how this is going, unironically.
So, the Australian Prime
Can't
Minister
get worse.
said that if you die from the vaccine, it's your fault because it's your job to get informed consent from your GP prior to getting vaccinated. He says, at the same time that he says that it's up to us to get vaccinated for things to be released.
Wow. That's...
We hold no responsibility whatsoever. We are immune.
So, the thing that I've sent to the general, because you guys can't see it, there's Kojiro, our hero of the story. There's this symbolic scene where he's sinking into the ocean, which is a representation, like the depth of the ocean, a representation of his opponent's power. And he says, "Oh, I finally thought I made it to the very bottom of the depths." And the sea bottom just cracks open, and it's just an even deeper chasm that just goes on forever, and it just goes black, and all light is swallowed. And it says, "But it just keeps going. It just keeps going. There's no end to this." And that's what this is. It's just that I saw the bottom, and it doesn't stop.
Yeah. So, if you die from the vaccine, it's your fault because it's your job to get informed consent from your GP prior to getting vaccinated. But special rules
GP
apply.
meaning general physician?
General practitioner, but yeah, basically, it's your regular family doctor.
Yeah.
So it's your fault if you die from getting the vaccine because you should have gotten informed consent. But we don't even start the second phase of 4 for reopening until 70% of the population gets vaccinated.
So the only thing really limiting it at this point is how fast the biotech companies can provide the country with the vaccine. And you are completely at the mercy of these biotech companies.
Basically.
Because the population would be willing if overnight they were like, well, we flew in 35 planes and there's like all these pallets and we're good to go. We got 150 million dosages ready to roll. But no, they're going to get trickled in. They're going to get like 1 million a week, and then it'll still take 70 weeks to fucking get to 70 million.
The thing is with that we get to rape you contract. They could just send vials of water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they probably have.
They could though. That's the thing. That contract can't be legal.
Maybe if they just said, fuck this contract, we're not paying, we're just going to order 40 million dosages of ivermectin, and that'll end corona in their nation.
Yeah, 40 million doses of ivermectin that will cost $80 million total, at most. Hell, you could probably get a bulk purchase discount. Billy Blogs asks, did anyone see the nurse that lost her legs and hands due to the vaccine?
Yes.
Yes, I think we all did. Live Cedars covered it.
Wait,
yes.
Excuse me?
Yes. Through blood clotting.
Yesterday or the day before, but they couldn't put that one on YouTube as a clip, I think.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah, that was just fucked, dude.
And that's just silenced. Like, I'd be fine with it if there wasn't such a hush-hush around it. That's what annoys me. Like, it's so obvious there's something wrong with it if they have to keep censoring it all the time.
Yeah. It's utterly fucking insane. But, just while we're sitting here, I'm just going to scroll through the latest news stories and see what dumb shit I can come up with. And just read some headlines. Man charged for allegedly assaulting female police officer during anti-lockdown CBD protests. Thanks. Brisbane COVID-19 quarantine facility proposal ticks all of the boxes. Nice. 2/3 of South Australia ambulance officers aren't fully vaccinated, government reveals.
Well, at least they're being transparent about it. When they asked Jen Psaki last week, she said, why are you questioning me on this? What do you need to know? She was asked simply how many people in the White House are infected with COVID, because the initial question was, do you mandate the vaccine? And that was a solid no.
Yeah, so here we go. Another article. Yeah, basically, 80% of the population needs to be vaccinated before they start slowly giving us some of our so-called freedoms back. This scum-sucking bastard here, Scott Morrison, needs to be hung from a tree for crimes against humanity, along with John Howard, who took our guns away.
You're at the
Yep.
mercy of these biotech companies, just totally at the mercy until they trickle in enough to reach 80 million, and they can decide exactly how long that takes. You'll be a vassal state to a medical company.
Yeah. So I like Boobies asked, how do you get food to people in Australia when it's so locked down? So essential workers who are not being paid hazard pay, which you'd think they would get if they were essential and it was a deadly pandemic, they can still work and you can still go out to buy food. Because bread and circuses. Why do you think the Olympics are still going ahead? You've got your bread, and now you've got your circus. That is what I think is going on.
The problem is the restrictions make no sense because none of them are at all coherent with each other.
Here's another one. Desperate Adelaide man stuck in Brisbane pleads for exemption to see dying mum. Which isn't surprising, because screw you and your compassionate grounds. I mean, we've still got unaccompanied minor citizens in India who have not been brought back to Australia.
The bodies are
Right.
radioactive. It's teeming with deadly viruses. It's like the scene from the movie where they used a Ebola corpse to spread a dirty bomb. Like, it's just a flu. Why are we treating these people with such disrespect?
Here we
Funerals
go.
get cancelled.
The government says there are more than 38,000 Australians still waiting to come home after 2 fucking years.
Jeez! 2 years. Their whole life has just basically been on hold. Wow.
Yep. Like,
They
we're
would've lost
almost
anything
at
they
the
had back home.
point that if they had a visa, their visa would be running out. Like, there could be people who the Australian government have forced into being criminals if their visas have expired.
Wow.
I don't have the confirmation of that, but I would not be surprised. So I'm going to say it now that it's highly possible.
Like, Australia is going to create a generation of people that are sort of malaligned the same way the Chinese were when they were put in American detention camps after Pearl Harbor. You're just going to create this pariah society within Australia.
Absolutely. Like, the government is at this point, the government's like, 10 years? That Hitler guy was a loser. We'll do it in 5.
Wow.
Yep, here we go. Premier Ward's protesters could give loved ones death sentences. New South Wales records 170 COVID cases. Yes, that's right, 170. In a state of 6 million. Or whatever it is.
And it's only cases. No deaths.
Cases, yes. There's been like 7 deaths in New South Wales, I think, since Delta hit. Something like that.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, so I'll put it in general, but it's kind of funny. I don't know if anyone's ever said this before.
Yeah. We definitely can't say that, but it's fucking hilarious. Yep, here we go.
So how many variants are you gonna come up with? Like, how many letters are left in the Latin alphabet?
They're gonna go to something else.
Well, they're going to come up with something else, absolutely. Oh, we've got a new friend in Discord. Hello, DC Tuck. Nice to see you.
Willkommen.
Anyway.
Like, they're just gonna start designating the new viral variants like the Borg, like species 8472, variant 8472. Let's go, boys. Get your booster.
Yep. But that's okay. They're going to start vaccinating Year 12 students with AstraZeneca.
So, after 9 placebos that cost $15 a pop, when is it just going to be like We've seen through your swindle. We no longer adhere to your fucking contract.
Here's a fucking picture. How can anyone see this picture and not be fucking terrified? Police arm in arm with the army.
Well, it's like the guy on the London Tube, like the whole hazmat COVID cleanliness officer, and it's just like Instagram picture taking to make fear porn for the BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really annoying.
Be afraid, it sells. My God, we've never had this much money before. The fear, it's palpable.
AstraZeneca developer says mixed messaging on vaccine rollout in Australia could result in lives lost. Sorry. Would that be the AstraZeneca that's the Food and Drug that the Therapeutic Goods Administration said shouldn't be given to people under 50 because side effects?
So the thing that gets me is the sudden move for every government now to switch over to the model where everyone under 12 should be masked and vaccinated. What sparked that? The whole 12-year-old cutoff. Like, these kids have the strongest immune system they're ever going to have in their lives.
Look,
they're built for this. They're bomb-proof.
I'm certain it's got to do with them wanting to use up vaccines, because they don't want to turn around and say, oh, they hit their expiry date and we had to throw a bunch out. Because then people are going to be like, oh, so
like,
people aren't getting them then.
How much money did you waste? Well, we just kind of corked about $450 million into the drain, as it were, in bio waste. Like $500 million in just waste.
And the problem is
the accountability. They're just trying to cover their asses. It's like you'll have budgetary commissions for like governments, and then they'll have a bill project to just to waste money. They have a bill project every year just to waste money, because if they don't waste the money, the budgetary commission is going to look at the city budget and say, well, we saved $4 million compared to last year, so we're going to nip the budget and remove that $4 million. At which point, to get access back to the original $4 million, they'll have to send out more lobbyists. So they make these stupid little projects just to waste money, just to keep that budget high up there.
Yep, it's good old-fashioned government corruption.
They all siphon their little bribes off. They give themselves pat-on-the-back bonuses at the end of the year.
Oh, here we go. One country is holding back the Delta surge with measures Australia can't fully copy. China.
Well, by shooting Indians, yes.
Well, if you just weld the doors shut...
Yeah, if you're a fascist state, then that's fine. You'll easily be able to lock yourself down and your borders.
We had China admit this week they had an additional 7,529 cases. And that's the number.
Yeah, righto. This is apparently the cases graph in China. Yeah, get bent.
What? In a third world country, basically, as well.
Fuck off. They're lying through their fucking teeth. They're just sitting there lying to you.
It's like the meme of North Korea. We had one case, then we had no cases. And then we had one case again, but then we had no cases. And they just keep assassinating the people that are sick to keep the number of infected at zero. Like, we had 75,000 people sick, and then 2 days later, well, we have about 32 of them sick right now. Yes, sure, of course. We believe you. Totally.
It's the fact that people listen to China, and it was like, do you remember when it was 2 weeks to flatten the curve?
Student of History says, my fucking left nut, they ain't got shit. Exactly.
Remember when the CCP was talking about min-maxing the productivity of your nation, and then this virus comes out of nowhere and it starts killing all the old people, and the productivity of China goes up, and they're actually min-maxing the productivity of their nation, and they're grinding away more money like the good capitalists that they are.
Well, that's it. Right. Like, I still believe that it got released ahead of schedule. I don't believe the actual release was on purpose. But it would have been. It would have been eventually. I think it was released ahead of schedule by accident. But if you want to engineer a virus to say kill all the old people, why not take a coronavirus, a respiratory tract virus, raise the lethality just a little bit, and then push the infectivity through the roof, and then just release it. You don't need to do anything else special to it. You don't need to target it genetically or anything. But just make it a little bit more deadly and send the infectivity through the roof. So if everyone gets it, just the old people will die. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, back in 2019, Medicare was looking into the whole gestation period, and at the time of reporting, then it was that nothing became apparent until 28 days after gestation. So you have this virus that's very virulent, and it infects everyone. It spreads around real quick, but it takes ages for you to notice you're actually infected. You've already been a carrier to the virus long before you start suffering symptoms. Imagine that, but with a bioengineered virus that actually has a 70% lethality rate, you'd be fucked. It wouldn't burn out its pool fast enough, but it would guaranteed kill them at the end of it.
Yeah. But just
maybe it wasn't ready yet, and maybe somebody was just like doing this anime moment where they push their glasses onto the bridge of their nose and they get a little bit of COVID on their nose, and then at home it gets in their mouth, and then suddenly, oopsie, it got out.
Well, I mean, it is on record that particular lab has had security issues before, so it's not unlikely.
Dirty, clean place.
Yeah, as Billy Bloggs said, accidental, but they took full advantage. Absolutely.
Yes.
It's win-win for the CCP, cull their elderly, and screw the rest of the world. Exactly, my man. Exactly. It looks like we have lost Harry again. Probably for good this time.
That's a shame. It's weird with the CCP. The way they act is anybody who says that they are now, well, that they were or still are communist or Maoist is wrong. They are now gone full fascist. That's their new plan and model.
Yeah, like they're not actually communists because they're very, very good at capitalism.
Yes.
And what has capitalism and totalitarian control? Fascism. You're exactly right.
It's in their benefit to not be seen as the Nazis. The Nazis were the eternal evil. They're the biggest of the biggest bad.
Yeah.
And communism was sort of a footnote to history. Don't look at the corpses. Don't look at the list of 160 million dead. Unbelievable amounts of suffrage across 5 years.
And the thing is, from say a liberal or outsider view, it does not look to me like there is much of a difference between fascism and communism.
Well, it's like what Carl's been saying. Communism is what? Class socialism. And then fascism is government socialism or race socialism or something.
National socialism is race socialism, and if it's by Benito Mussolini's definition of fascism, then it's state socialism.
Yeah. Basically what I was trying to say, but said better.
Yeah.
Anyway. Churchill's quote just rings true about the future of liberals, like the future Nazis or the anti-Nazis, like
they've learned.
Are the fascists.
Yeah, so
they hide themselves.
Yeah, it's utterly pathetic. So I'm thinking I might call it, guys, because it's nearly 4 a.m.
Sure.
Thank you very much for joining me, guys. You managed. Been great. It was really good having you here because we lost a lot of people tonight. We will be back same time, same place with the regular cast, hopefully next week. The plan going forward, from as far as I know, is we will have at the beginning of the month on the Mondays the regular cast, and then on the last Friday we will try and get in some guests like we've got this time. Otherwise, just generically, we might invite some guests in whenever, just to make up numbers. Otherwise, we will be back next Friday, same time, same place. If we're not back, I've probably been black bagged by the government, and I'm off to Guantanamo Bay. Thanks for chilling out, everyone in chat. It's been great. And we will catch you all later. Shadilay, folks.
Shadilay.
Shadilay.